Hello, listeners and readers of AwardsWatch.com. This is the AwardsWatch Podcast, episode 336. I am a very stuffy, nasally, congested executive editor, Ryan McQuade. And joining me today is our editor-in-chief, Erik Anderson.
Well, the time has come.
Yes, it has. Our associate editor, Sophia Ciminello.
Rise and shine.
And our awards alchemist, Mark Johnson.
Hey, everybody.
And we are here to do our final Oscar predictions for the 2026 98th Academy Awards. It has been so goddamn long this season. And I know that most of us are really like that, but then at this point it's like, just end already. It's like Elaine on Seinfeld. Just die already this season. But we're here. We're going to predict all the categories. How's everybody feeling 1 week before the show?
There's just one battle left.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm ready for it to be done. Yeah. I have to say, I'm so ready.
That's the beauty of this being close to over, is that it overlaps with South by Southwest for me every year for the most part, except last year. It didn't last year, which was great. And so I have a distraction once this thing is done. But for the rest of us, it's like, we're just left to our, what happened? Like, we're left in the battlefield, right, when it's all said and done. But yes, we are here at the finish line, less than a week away. A lot to discuss. A lot of things have happened. The voting ended last week, so we've had a whole week of people online, up and down, all around, throwing out whatever goddamn thing that's coming out of their head, and it has been nauseating. It has been infuriating, but we're here to do this today and lock in our predictions. And Erik's been doing his predictions pieces up on the website. Mark's done his alchemist pieces that are up on the website, but this will be definitive takes. So what you get from here on this show, it is it for everybody. There's no changing. You know the rules. And if you change, that means you second guessed yourself. And if you second guess yourself, that's never a good thing. So these have to be definitive at that point. We're going to do what we did like on the nomination predictions episode. We're going to do random categories, except for Best Picture. So we're not going to do them in order because, any prediction show can do that and spend 6-7 hours just going down the ballot. But for us here, we'd like to have a little bit more fun with it. And so, are you guys ready?
As ready as I'll ever be.
All right.
Let's go.
All right. Well, the first category
scary
is an easy one. Or is it an easy one? I don't know. It's never an easy one when it comes to the shorts. The first category is Best Animated Short. Erik, can you please read the nominees for us, please?
Yes, but I'm not going to read them in alphabetical order because they're going to be going right off of my predictions. So they're going to be in order of my predictions. So sorry about it. All right. Oh, I'm in the wrong.
I made a whole outline with all of these listed.
I know.
And he's screwing it up literally 5 minutes into the show.
I know. Hold on. All right. There it is. Never mind. It's right in front of me. Relax. Okay. Animated short. Butterfly, Forever Green, The Girl Who Cried Pearls, Retirement Plan, and The Three Sisters.
Okay. So that's your
No, that is the
alphabetical.
That's alphabetical. All right. No, well, don't make it sound like it's a chore to put it alphabetical.
No, I had just brought up that sheet.
You hear that, Sophia? Because it's alphabetical.
I was just trying to help everyone out earlier.
No, I think you did a great job, and I think Erik made it more complicated, much like everything that usually happens at this website. So
hey, I'm not the one that decided a random order.
No,
that threw everyone off.
Yeah, no, I told you literally hours before that we were going to do this. So, Erik,
yes,
what do you have winning this category?
I think this is probably a race between Retirement Plan, Girl Who Cried Pearls, and Butterfly.
Cool, you really got a consensus there.
And well, no, I mean they're just like this is a very diverse category of style and length.
Did you watch all the shorts?
I didn't see Three Sisters. It's the only one I couldn't get my hands on.
Wow.
And
why would you get your hands on Three
link.
Sisters? That's
since I had seen everything, I didn't go and see them in the theater this time.
Wow.
I'm going with Retirement Plan.
Wow.
It's the shortest. Sense. It's only 7 minutes long, but it is full of great humor, a lot of pathos. It feels very much like a New Yorker cartoon, so it might feel a little bit East Coasty. But yeah, that's where I'm leaning.
All right. Sophia.
I'm very torn here between two, The Girl Who Cried Pearls and Retirement Plan. I think Butterfly is gorgeous and it would get my personal vote just for the animation style. I did watch all of these and I think that I could see a case really for many of them here. I'm also going with Retirement Plan. This is a new change because I just predicted The Girl Who Cried Pearls because of the title, the stop motion style, but I think that Retirement Plan is so digestible. It's also in English. You have Donald Gleason narrating, and I think it has a message that everyone can get behind. So that's where I'm going. But I never feel confident about the shorts. If I can get 1 out of 3, I'm happy. Like these are make or break your ballot.
Yeah.
Mark?
Yeah, last year I went 0 for 3 on shorts. And actually, Erik and I last year had only one difference in our predictions, which was editing, which he got and I did not. But this year we're already one different. I did go with Butterfly. The Girl Who Cried Pearls was my favorite. I think it's beautiful. I'll be rooting for that. But Butterfly, the story and the Holocaust and all that, like whenever that's involved, it's hard to bet against it. So I do like Retirement Plan a lot as well, but I went Butterfly.
Sophia, which one did you go with again?
I went with Retirement Plan.
Retirement Plan.
But I could see a case for Girl Who Cried Pearls and Butterfly too.
Early on, a couple weeks ago, I was thinking about Butterfly a lot, and I was thinking about The Girl Who Cried Pearls. The Girl Who Cried Pearls, though, and Retirement Plan were one I saw a lot on social media. And that's usually always a good indicator of which is strongest in these categories. If they're getting a little bit of the push out there, usually that's where I've gone, and they've paid off for me, in the past. It's an absolute crapshoot. I don't know what's going to win this thing. I was with Mark for a little bit. I think I am with Erik and Sophia, though, ultimately with Retirement Plan. It's the shortest, but it's also very funny and yeah, I really don't have much more to say with it because I didn't get to see, one of them. Which one did I didn't get to see? I didn't get to see Forever Green. I didn't get to see that one.
I think it would annoy you tremendously.
It's like a Pixar.
Well, if that's the case,
that doesn't make it to like final cut.
Well, if that's
Pixar
the case,
does The Giving Tree.
Sophia,
yeah,
if it is
way sentimental.
If it is the worst one, then usually that also could be a sign, an indication that it could win.
Yeah, that's sometimes how it goes.
That's very much how it goes sometimes. But 3 Retirement Plans and Butterfly. Those are our predictions for this category. Okay, all right. We gotta do a little bit better here, randomizer. We're going back to it. Best documentary short. So we're getting the shorts out of the way. Sophia.
Thank God.
The nominees are All the Empty Rooms, Armed Only with a Camera, The Life and Death of Brent Renaud, Children No More, Were and Are Gone, The Devil is Busy, and Perfectly a Strangeness. I'm between 2 here, All the Empty Rooms and The Devil is Busy, but I'm going with All the Empty Rooms. I think this is really topical. It's very emotional without, I think, being preachy or voyeuristic, and it approaches this topic of school shootings, I think, from a new angle. I was really moved by it. And this, for me, is the easiest of the 3 shorts categories right now to call.
Mark?
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think it's the easiest as well. I'm between All the Empty Rooms and Armed Only with a Camera. That was my personal favorite. And it's a documentary short about a documentary short. So, but yeah, I think the weight of All the Empty Rooms is going to win out.
Erik Anderson.
So I love this category because it's always so lighthearted, and
Yeah,
you
there's a lot
just
of-
you feel so good when you're
Man,
done watching.
it's
So
like
fun to
it's like a
watch.
warm blanket, you
It
know.
really is, really is. Yeah, no, I feel like this is the easiest of the shorts in All the
Yeah.
Empty Rooms, both for its subject and very unique perspective. It should be able to do this, and it does like one of my favorite things that a documentary does, where it kind of enters with one perspective, and as it's happening, it changes. And certainly for a journalist feeling a certain amount of responsibility in how they have presented these, and that turning, I think, is unbelievably compelling.
Yeah, I agree. It's a complete sweep here. Just a very timely short, and yeah, just this one. This one's as easy as the other one we have left. I do think the other one that we have left of the shorts categories is a fairly easy one, in my opinion, to call as well. But that was easy. That was it. All the Empty Rooms. There we go. All right, Mark, best original song.
We have Dear Me from Diane Warren, Relentless. Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters. I Lied to You from Sinners. Sweet Dreams of Joy from Viva Verde, I think. And Train Dreams from Train Dreams.
Yeah, that last one pretty easy. It's in the title.
That one's easy.
Where are you going with here, Mark? I mean, this is pretty. I mean, how quick can we do this one? It's
Very.
golden, right? Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Erik,
I'm
golden.
rooting for I Lied to You, but
Yeah.
Golden.
Yes. Golden and I Lied to You will be the only ones that are going to be performed live on the Oscars. I'm assuming one of those two songs are going to be the thing that kicks off the show. So probably Golden, right?
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
I would guess
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. Makes total sense. It's been the complete sweeper of the season. And I'm not shocked at all that this is going to win. Sophia, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I just was going to say that I Lied to You has picked up some precursors, but in other categories where it wasn't directly up against Golden, and whenever they are up against each other, Golden has come out on top. And it's just so popular. It's ubiquitous. I hear Golden everywhere. So I think it's almost like people will be like tricked into or put under a spell to vote for it just because it's become such a part of their lives.
Absolutely. Well, we all four have Golden. We can move on to the next category, which is Best Cinematography.
Nice.
And the nominees are Dan Lauston for Frankenstein, Darius Kanji for Marty Supreme, Michael Bauman for One Battle After Another, Autumn Durald Arkapaw for Sinners, and Adolfo Valonso for Train Dreams. Well, it's funny that we're talking about cinematography right off the bat, because last night, at the time we're recording this, we got the ASC winner last night, which was in a little bit, I guess, it wasn't too much of an upset, but in a bit of a surprise, because it really was down to 3, and it went to Michael Bauman for One Battle After Another, and he has won now the BAFTA, the BSC, and the ASC. And of course, Valonso had won for the Critics' Choice Award for this. I know that there have been a lot of people talking about, Arkapaw being this historic nominee, and she is, and then being a historic winner. But it has seemed that all 3 of the guilds, both international and now American, have clicked on Bauman as our winner. And so for me, it's like not even close anymore. I think that he is going to win this in a big victory for One Battle After Another. In a lot of these close races, and I think a lot of people were trying to figure out, was there going to be a split? Was there going to be a spreading of wealth after BAFTA and BSC? And that's not the case. One battle after another is clear guild support here, and a big win for it. Erik?
Yeah, Arcapon needed this win to be able to kind of be positioned as a winner on Oscar night. Uh, but yeah, it didn't happen. And when you look at history, it clearly favors Bauman here in a major way. The only time that somebody has won those three and then lost the Oscar was The Man Who Wasn't There, which lost to Fellowship of the Ring. And that was its only
It was a
nomination.
lone nominee that year, yeah.
Yeah. And then Children of Men, similar situation. But again, another lone nominee. And that's not what we're dealing with here. So, yeah, I mean, One Battle has consistently proven its popularity both here and abroad. So it's really hard to make an argument against it. And I'm always going to be prepared because these two movies are so really dually matched, that if we see anything like it in an early part of the night, like if this was like one of the first five of the night and it went Sinners, I'd be like, okay, maybe something has changed. Maybe the tide turned, but I'm not going to predict that. In fact, I didn't.
Yeah, because your piece went up today.
Yep.
At the time of recording. Sophia, who do you
Yeah,
have?
I also have one battle after another here. I think you can't go against it. The ASC BSC BAFTA combo is pretty lethal. And where I'm looking to predictions in categories that are actually tight, I don't think this one is tight, but in other categories that are tight, I'm looking at where does an American Guild overlap with BAFTA? Like, where does the movie or the thing get both? Because that's hard to bet against. And this is one of those places. I also want to point out something for Michael Bauman that's just really cool, which is that he doesn't have the ASC letters after his name. And winning that award when you're up against members of the organization, the last time a non-guild member won this award was when Zal won for Cold War. And that win also happened, I think, because Cuarón ended up winning the Oscar, and they don't like to go with directors often in the guilds. So I think that was a special case, but they like going with guild members. So I thought, okay, maybe this is a chance actually for Arcapa to pull it out because people had been predicting her all year. But I think Bauman, I mean, the movie's a massive technical achievement from building the cameras to the way that that film is lit at night. You can see everything all the time. And you can't say that for some of the other films here.
That's very true. That's very true. Mark, where are you at with this?
Yeah, there's really nothing that would point you anywhere other than one battle after another here, but I do think this is a little closer than the precursors are signaling, and that's just personal opinion on this. No basis, nothing to prove that. I just
No
think,
facts to support your claim, is what you're saying.
Or is it based on
Possibly.
preference?
I think it's based, well, probably. There's some
Yeah.
bias in there, but I would say I think there's a case to be made when there's three contenders or more that you could see winning. And I think with that here, I wonder if when it gets to a broad academy, if it could divide things up a little differently. I have no proof of that, and I do think it will go to one battle, but this is an area where I wouldn't be surprised with an upset.
I see. I would agree with you, Mark, if she had won anything, or if that, Train Dreams had won besides the CCA upset.
Train Dreams at ASC would have been something I really would have looked at and thought
Yeah.
like ASC and CCA, like
But
that's
also,
kind of interesting.
the other thing about Archipod's,
Agree.
lack of wins, and to Sophia's point, is she is a massive guild member inside AFC, and Sinners did do well enough at BAFTA, but the telling place to me that if she couldn't win at CCA after she had won a lot of critics prizes,
Like 40.
like 40, and she couldn't win there, and then she didn't win at obviously the guilds, then at that point, and Mark, this isn't at you, but this is what I feel like throughout the season is that we're just hoping for history to happen when the stats and what's gone on in this race has shown us to be otherwise a different story. And so while I do think that the film is popular and people are going to, and I think that this will be within our conversation, we're going to talk about these 16 nominations. We're also going to have to, once again, talk about the 13 nominations and the path and what the guilds have said and what BAFTA and everybody else has said and shown. And there's a little thing about like feelings and like, and you can have a lot of gut instincts, but when everything is pointing, like you said, Mark, into one direction, you really have to just go with that. There's not much, and also we have to be careful too, because I know a lot of people have talked about with Sinners as this this turn of the tide, and then it'll be something that we talk about when we get to picture and other categories. Did it turn in every category, or did it just turn into one category or two categories that are more close than
That's the question.
than this? You know what I mean? Because
That's
some
yeah,
people are
that's the
predicting it to
challenge this year.
get 9 or 10, and then other people are getting it like in the 3 to 4. And I think that there's, as the Academy has shown over the last couple of years, even when something is dominant as like Oppenheimer, like it still had a cap. Every movie kind of has a cap at this certain point. So, but we all are picking Bauman here. We're all going with that, and that's, I think, just it's the right move based off of everything we've seen so far in the race. And yeah, I would say probably if you're gonna give me a runner up here, I guess it's Arkapow, just because of the strength of Sinners. But Adolfo has gone out there and they have campaigned. Netflix has done a great job of campaigning this movie the last couple of weeks, doing a whole art installation and getting Wagner Moura to present it. He has the Brazilian contingent's probably voting a ton for him. It's you're right, Mark. It's probably closer, but I mean, it just leans more to one battle after another at this point. Erik, were you going to say something?
No.
Oh, okay. Mark?
That's the tragedy, I think, of the Oscars is we never get to know what was second place, third place, or how close it was. It would be really fascinating, I think, to see some of that. And this is a category I'd love to know. Was it a blowout or not? Because I do think all 5 of these are great nominees. And 3 of them, I think, are very worthy winners. And yeah. I want it to be close.
Erik?
Yeah.
Best visual effects.
Oh wow, this is gonna be
easy one.
Really, this is so hard. This is so hard. Okay, all right. The nominees are Avatar, Fire, and Ash. That's it. Actually, there are no other nominees. All right,
your favorite movie of the year's in here. What are you talking about?
Yes. F1, Jurassic World Rebirth, The Lost Bus, and Sinners.
Mark, did you watch the Last Bus?
Yeah.
Did you finally watch that?
Yeah, I did.
Did you like it?
Riding the Lost Bus with my sister.
It was okay.
Yeah.
The visual effects, I think it's worthy of the nomination here, but the movie itself.
Did you watch it at home, Mark?
I did.
Because if you watch it in a theater, you'd be incorrect. Like they're pretty rough on a big screen. Like Sophia and I were at the TIFF premiere, and we were like, "Wow, this does look better probably on an Apple TV than it does like
I think
on
it
the
would.
big screen." We're all in agreements here. This is Avatar, Fire, and Ash, right?
Yes.
Yes.
There's nothing
Easy one. Lock it in.
Lock it in. Nothing really that could take its place here. Okay. Sophia, best casting.
Yes. Ooh, a hard one, I think.
Oh,
I mean, it's a little tricky. Casting, we have Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, and Sinners. This is interesting because, one, brand new category. We don't have any history or stats to back it up. BAFTA was not helpful, going with I Swear, not giving us really any indication of where anyone might go with these particular nominees. We do have Critics' Choice, but no voter overlap, and their award is called Casting and Ensemble, which is not really the same thing. And the Casting Society of America, Artios Awards, One Battle After Another and The Secret Agent were ineligible, which makes things a little bit complicated. I am going with Sinners here because I do think that Francine Maisler, her name carries a lot of weight also. And I think, she's a legend in the industry. She's worked across film and TV and would be a worthy recipient of the first award. But I wouldn't be surprised if One Battle After Another did get scooped up here, if it does perform very well in the way that editing went to Sean Baker for Honora last year. I could see something similar happening here this year, but I am going to go with Sinners. I don't feel super confident about it just because it's brand new, but that's where I'm going to go.
Yeah, I haven't read a lot of those anonymous ballots because I don't care about them. But
Yeah.
I did see a couple of reactions online where there were people. It was a good like collection. Like some people picked Marty Supreme, some people did in the tallies looked like they picked The Secret Agent, picked Hamnet, you know. Now again, those anonymous ballots mean literally nothing in the grand scheme of things. If they're right, then it's mostly coincidental because we're talking about, a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of people that are voting members of the Academy. But I still think it's to your point, Sophia. It's a very, very open category because we don't have precedent for any of this. And, we don't have you have non-guild members nominated that are in strong contenders. And yeah, you're right. BAFTA did not help at all picking I Swear. So it really puts us in this one. I think you really do get to make this is what I feel rather than what like my head is telling me here. Mark, what do you have winning this category for the first time?
Yeah, I think Sophia covered, the precursors. We don't have a lot to go on. I think this is going to be fun to watch over the next few years to see as the trends build. But I do have Sinners winning this.
Okay. Erik, does it make sense that it's going to be Sinners? Because that seems to be the general consensus from it, right?
It does, but so what I'm curious about is that BAFTA hasn't been doing this that long, only since 2019.
Yeah.
So I'm really more excited to see what this category looks like in 5 years.
Yeah.
Because something that BAFTA has done pretty consistently is the casting win is also coupled with an individual acting win,
Correct.
which it happened with this year's I Swear and Robert Aramayo. So is that what the Oscars are potentially going to do as well? And it's going to kind of always be attached to one of the winners. I feel like it's almost
certain,
definitely going to happen. But in that case, and if we're all picking Sinners, who's the individual acting winner that might be going along with that?
Are we all picking Sinners?
Or I'm just speaking generally.
Okay.
Or One Battle. Are we sort of looking at it similarly to BAFTA and attaching it to an individual win?
Mm-hmm.
And that, I mean, yeah, that's what I'm most interested in how this shakes out. I do think Sinners will be the winner here, but yeah, that 5 years will also tell us how voters really view this category.
Okay. So
I do have a theory on.
Oh yeah, go for it.
I have a theory on this category, but you'll have to read my Awards Alchemist Oscar predictions part 2 to find out what that theory is.
Okay. All right. He doesn't want to put it on the show. He's making you all pay for it.
Wow.
It's like Vulture over here. Anyway. No, I think so. Here's where I've been like kind of playing. Well, also, Erik, off of your point, if something's carrying an Oscar win, I mean, no, I'm not trying to get your hopes up here, but Hamnet has one walking in on the night. So that does play well for that film. I think in its chances more than like Marty Supreme or The Secret Agent. I do think though it is between One Battle After Another and Sinners. I think everyone is assuming that it's Sinners, and I'm ultimately going to pick it as well because I agree with Sophia. Like Francine Maisler is a legend in her field, and she has been on the stage when at the CCA Awards. She was the one that accepted the award before Delroy Lindo went up and accepted the ensemble part for the cast. She was on the stage when they were at the Golden Globes. She was on the stage when they were at the SAG Awards, or sorry, the Actors Awards, whatever you want to call them. And so she has been present, and she has been there the entire season, and it makes sense. I don't know for a fact if names are on the ballot in that category.
They are actually on the ballot for every category now for the
Okay.
first time,
That actually really works to her advantage there,
including
as well,
Diane Warren.
there you are.
She's
She's
on
right
there
there.
twice.
Yeah.
And Autumn's on the ballot.
There you go.
Well, that
So
doesn't
is
work
Michael
so far.
Bauman. Yeah. But anyway, so to that point, it does make it really interesting because I think that she could win. But if you're also just thinking that people love one battle after another, and that's our winner, and that is the film that could dominate the night as well, it doesn't seem like a lot of people are putting in the idea that that film could win potentially. And then so it also, when we talk about it, it potentially has an actor win or two up its sleeve as well going in on the night. It has just as many boxes that Sinners checks off in terms of big stars, a discovery, working with non-professional actors. So there's a lot of that. I agree with you, Erik, that we're going to take from this win, but we're really not going to be able to fully look at this category for about 5 to 10 years and see trends, much like, with like,
We'll see it in 5. We won't need
well,
10. Baptist showed it's in that
sure,
much time.
but it to that point, it's a lot like the international director sort of spot and how we look at that, where it started off for a little bit, it's like sort of, oh, that's an interesting, Pavel Pawlikowski gets thrown in there, or, and then it starts becoming more and more of a norm as the branch does widen and spread out. I do find it very interesting. There was one interesting thing that Variety did report on last week was the breakdown of the Academy membership going into the final vote, and the international voting block making up a huge section of that, and the biggest section of them obviously are from Britain or the UK, and then obviously the SAG portion as well too, the actors portion as much. So I found that to be very interesting. I'm going with Sinners, but if one battle wins here, it was mostly because we just didn't. I think a lot of people didn't just say that they down balloted, which happens a lot in these categories and happens a lot with the voters. I say this every year and people get mad at me when I say it, but they are kind of lazy and they do like to downvote. And so if one battle wins there, that would be wouldn't surprise me. I would have liked it to be,
Well, would that be lazy down balloting then if that happens?
a little bit.
Okay.
No, that's the rightful winner in my opinion.
I mean, I think it's the rightful winner, but also if that becomes the trend over the next couple of years where it just goes to the best picture winner, then yes, that would be the trend that we look back in 5 years and be like, well, they're just giving it to the best picture winner at that point. It's a second prize.
But using BAFTA as an example,
I wouldn't be able to say this.
The opposite has happened.
I know the
best
opposite
picture winner is never tied to this.
It's very rare that it's tied to you. Absolutely. Well, I mean, technically, Anora did win it last year, and then it won the best picture.
No, I mean BAFTA's best film. It's never attached to BAFTA's winner.
I know, but they're different academies, different rules, different systems. You know what I mean? And different people voting overall. But again, I don't think we'll know if it was a down ballot vote or not. And like you said, Erik, for 5 years. For that, I go with Sinners until a trend is made. And also it's the film that's won the most ensembles. It's won the most, in terms of that area. And I do think that this is technically still kind of, some voters are going to, in the first year or two, probably consider it an ensemble prize, even though it's going to the casting director. That might be maybe the laziest art, thing that you could think in your head, is that it's an ensemble prize, and it's not. I mean, that's, Sophia, to your point, what CCA did But nonetheless, we will find out on Sunday because it's exciting to have a new category. We're gonna have this. We have stunts coming up here in a couple of years. It's gonna be pretty awesome. Okay, Sophia, I think it's to you, right?
I just did the last one.
Okay, so then
But I
it's
can
to
do another if you want.
It's to Mark. It's to Mark. Mark, best documentary.
Let me find it. Since you're doing this all over the place.
That's the name of the game.
Oh, you highlighted it. Thank you. Documentary feature is The Alabama Solution, Come See Me in the Good Light, Cutting Through Rocks, Mr. Nobody Against Putin, and The Perfect Neighbor.
All right. What do you got, Mark?
This is one of the toughest ones.
I think this is very tough.
Yeah. Okay. I'm still somewhat undecided. I'm leaning toward The Perfect Neighbor, but the Academy likes to go with politically urgent films in this category. So it's really hard not to pick the Putin one.
That's the Putin one? That's what you're going with? The
Putin doc. Yeah.
Putin?
No, so I'm going.
Wait, how are you saying it? Putin or Putin?
Oh, is it Putin?
Yeah, it's Putin. Yeah.
I'm American.
I was just trying to make sure you're getting, correctly. Yeah. Erik,
Fine.
You're shaking your head at us. You do not think that this is going to be close.
I just think it's not that it's not going to be close. I just think the Perfect Neighbor is a pretty easy pick here for me.
Okay.
Very, very easy pick.
Why is that?
Mostly because obviously the two obstacles that it overcame to get here, the CCA curse, and being an archival footage doc, were pretty tremendous.
Yeah.
It's going to be the most seen and certainly has been at this point. And the thing is, which is so strange about it, is that it lost all of its guilds.
Oh, yeah.
All of them.
Yeah, and won nothing.
That's why I'm pausing.
But
yeah,
the thing that won more of them isn't even nominated here.
That's true.
So it's that direct competition is kind of meaningless. The only one that it has real competition with is Mr. Nobody Against Putin, which won the DGA. But I just
BAFTA.
don't.
Yeah.
I'm BAFTA. Sorry. Yes. DGA was the Andrivka. And I just don't think that that there is a strong enough alternative. And in this category, there usually needs to be kind of a big overarching title, because if you're going to, have everybody vote for it, it needs to be something that somebody has seen. And Perfect Neighbor is going to be the most seen.
Sure.
Sophia?
That's where I'm thinking too. Like I am torn because of the BAFTA in particular, but also just like the random nature of some of these other places with what they're going with. Like My Mom Jane winning at PGA, things you just wouldn't predict necessarily. But to me, The Perfect Neighbor has always been a front runner. I think now it's a weak front runner, but it's still a front runner in my mind. So that's why I'm going to predict it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being Mr. Nobody Against Putin. But last year, I mean, the BAFTA winner didn't end up going on to win the Oscar, but that was a very different case too. So can't really use that as an example, I suppose. So I'm going with The Perfect Neighbor.
I hear what you're saying, Erik. I mean, like, this movie is going to be the most watched easily. But just because you're the most watched does not mean that they like you either. You know what I mean? Though I did see, I've seen a lot of directors kind of pushing for it. I mean, Barry Jenkins was pushing for it on social media. There were a ton of people, the sort of during the vote that were discovering it really for the first time and seeing it and talking about it. That helps too. But then there's just it's just the fact that Mark's right too, that they do like to go political. It's literally got Putin in the damn title, which really helps
Right.
itself. It's like shit, man. Like you can't make that
It's the
up.
best. It's probably the best title
It's
too.
probably yeah, and it's the one that you're just like, wait, it's who versus Putin? You know what I mean? It's like kind of like what it is. Um, I think that those are the two really that could do it. The problem is, it's just like neither one of these have had like a stellar year in terms of at the guilds. You know, neither one of them really have. Um, so yeah, I think I'm gonna go. But you can't also count out Netflix. Netflix does an incredible job with their documentaries to get them in these positions to either win or get nominated. Um, man, I don't know. This was a very, very tough one. I was gonna pick it on the show. I'm gonna go with the perfect Mr. Neighbor Putin. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, jeez.
No, I'm gonna go with the perfect neighbor. And I'm gonna write off of that. But if I'm wrong, I blame Erik. And that's totally fine.
Well, I mean, we've been talking a lot, and we will always talk about the international element of the
Yeah.
academy, and there certainly might be a portion that see the perfect neighbor as such a exclusively American
Yeah.
issue and documentary that something on a more worldwide scale will feel like a better choice.
Okay. Well, you just said that, so now I'm gonna switch back to
Yeah,
Mr. Nobody
it's
against
tricky.
Putin. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna go with Mr. Nobody
And their
against
winner
Putin.
will be cutting through rocks.
Right.
I mean, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, we have had such. We want to talk about other categories being inconsistent this year. This one has definitely been that case. But I'm gonna go with Mr. Putin there as well. So yeah. All right. Are you ready for the toughest category of the night? Best supporting actress.
Oh, I thought you were going to say best
Oh.
actress. Wow. Okay.
No, I'm being for real. The nominees are Elle Fanning for Sentimental Value, Inga Its Daughter Lilius for Sentimental Value, Amy Madigan for Weapons, Wunmi Musako for Sinners, and Tiana Taylor for One Battle After Another. I assume this is going to take up most of our show today, trying to talk about this category.
This is the hardest one, or one of the hardest ones.
Erik, have you written the piece yet for this?
I did. And it was really kind of funny because I spent the majority of it detailing all of the reasons why Amy Madigan shouldn't be able to win and the things that she has to overcome to win.
Yeah.
And then I ultimately chose Amy Madigan as the winner
Right.
because I felt like I was trying to talk myself out of it rather than anything else. But it is true. She has to overcome a ridiculous amount of things
Amount of
that
bias.
none of the
Yeah.
other contenders have to overcome. Sole nominee, not best picture, the crazy makeup snub.
Yeah.
It's a lot. She really is going to, if she wins, kind of exist in a really unique place.
Genre bias. Yeah.
Genre bias. The first sole nominee winner in this category since Penelope Cruz. I think it'll make her one of only 9 ever in history.
Yeah.
There is so much, and there's so much that you can read about her SAG win or into her SAG win as, a veteran that gets a win there, like Ruby Dee or Lauren Bacall or Gloria Stewart, and just cannot translate that into an Oscar win. There are so many things working against her. But at the same time, I still think that Tiana Taylor and Wunmi Musako, it's clearly only one of those 3, they all come with deficits in the way that we, sort of calculate and triangulate how we get to this place. It's going to be weird no matter which of them wins, because the collection of what they've gotten to this point is going to be really odd and inconsistent and unique, and supporting actor is the same way. And it's kind of kind of really great. I love it. It's very cool to have both of those this year, but I, I still I'm still leaning to Madigan. There's something that I feel about the old guard, and it might be a big part of it, the 99 Ilya Kazan thing that is going to work in her favor. I just feel like there's something, I don't know, something feels right about her.
Okay. Mark Johnson.
Yeah, I think the second hardest for the night for me to predict. And do you guys know who the last sole nominee to win supporting actress was?
Yeah, Penelope Cruz.
He just said it.
Yeah. Oh, did you say that?
You didn't
Yeah.
listen. See, no one listens on these shows anymore, man.
Yeah.
Hey, listen.
I was thinking ahead. Okay.
What am I on director
so-
watch? What is
sorry
Jay
about
here
that.
and you didn't listen to me? God
It's
damn.
the ghost of Jay Ledbetter.
It really is.
It's been a long week. All right.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. So it's.
But do you know the
like
next
Erik
one?
said.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know it.
Yeah. I also have Madigan, but I am really close to switching to Taylor. I think those are the two that I know. Musaku is, how do you say her name? God damn it.
Yeah, you said it right.
A contender here too. Okay. But Tiana just seems like it's really hard. So I'm gonna go with Madigan for now, but this is one that I could see flipping.
So, Sophia, this is really tough. I mean, both of them have
Yeah.
gone with Amy Madigan.
You can go ahead if you want to. I'm having.
No, I want to talk this out. Like, I
Okay,
think that this
we
is
can
good to talk it out.
Yeah.
I think this is good
Yeah.
because I see every point that Mark and Erik have made about Amy Madigan. She fits a classic mold of a
Oh,
winner
I think
here.
I know where you're going.
No, but no, just hear me out. You don't know where I'm going yet. I haven't made my predictions just yet.
Wait,
But-
where are you going?
I don't know. That's the problem. Is that like I think that she fits the mold of like a veteran actress winning this category, 40 years in between the nomination, transformational performance, kind of a character of the year when you really think about it. Like there's not many characters in the nominee block. I would say like her and maybe and maybe the supporting one of the supporting actors are definitely one of the characters of the year. And something for actors to really, and mostly the Academy to really sink into. And yet, weapons missing in screenplay, in casting, in makeup, and ultimately in picture after getting guild support and getting in at PGA and having support outside of that in other places, it doesn't make a lot of sense then, because Sophia and I had said this, that if Amy Madigan was going to win, she needed to be a sweeper. And because she wasn't going to have anything else with her. And she doesn't have anything else with her. And then there's BAFTA. We gotta talk about that. Like she's not even on the board there.
Yeah.
And that's a big block of this Academy, the international voters.
Only one person in this category got nominations at all places.
And that's Tiana Taylor.
Mhm.
And potentially the film that could win Best Picture. But then why didn't she win SAG and BAFTA? And then Wumi Musako won BAFTA. Why didn't she win SAG? Because supporting actor carried over. And so there's a lot of that factors in. Maybe the voting block's different than that, obviously. But the BAFTA wins were still during some of the SAG voting. And that ultimately showed that it could copy over with Penn, but not with her. So, and I have said, I kind of feel like that is a hometown win. She's a former BAFTA winner. I know people think that I'm wrong about that. Fine, whatever. Don't give a shit. Because if they love Sinners so much, it would have won more than what it did. It would have carried Michael B. Jordan. It would have gotten more than just her. And it does feel like she got that hometown win, and Tiana Taylor was never going to win that. It was really Madigan and Taylor, I thought, for SAG. And that went to Madigan. And Madigan had maybe the best speech of the award season. like talking about like how
It was great.
the actor award is like a Ken doll, and you're like can't even find where his junk's at.
Well, she was like done with her speech, and then she's like, no, let's talk about his non-dick. I love it. It was hilarious.
She's a Midwest girl. I love it.
And it was
great.
So awesome. And yeah, you're right, Erik. She does have if people want to remember back to 99 in the Elliot Kazan, which is always on the internet every like 5 other minutes during award season this year. She
but
has
it's worked to her advantage this time because time has passed.
Yeah.
And now it is seen as such a respectful thing to do where it was not at the time.
No. Well, most of those people are gone or retired from the academy. They kicked them people out. But then there is one thing, and then I'll kick it over to you, Sophia.
Okay.
Based off of what I'm predicting in supporting actor, I don't know if I can go with Madigan because I don't know if two villains can win the supporting categories in the same year. It's very, very rare that has happened. And I don't necessarily think that they're going to do that, but I mean, SAG did, so who knows? Where are you leaning at right now, Sophia?
Yeah, here are all the things that are just going through my mind because I think they all have pros and cons, really. And I'm talking about, when I say all, I mean the three that we've been talking about. I'm so sorry to my sentimental value ladies, but it's just not happening.
Which,
Amy Madigan, yeah.
I mean, people thought Inga was going to happen for a long time. She got the NBR curse, though.
She did. Amy Madigan, to me, why I'm struggling to predict her, two things. The BAFTA nomination miss is huge. Like that just feels really significant. This win also to me at SAG feels really classic SAG of embracing a really popular character, a veteran narrative. It's giving Demi Moore in The Substance a little bit, and she had the makeup win to go along with her. What happens with Amy Madigan too is that in my mind, I've always compared this to Ruth Gordon in Rosemary's Baby. And I said, I'll predict her if Weapons gets a screenplay nomination because Rosemary's Baby got a screenplay nomination. We don't have another nomination. So I'm having trouble predicting her, even though she here reminds me of how I felt about another person who was really important to me during award season. And that's Lily Gladstone, who gave a great speech in the middle of Oscar voting when she won SAG, but she missed at BAFTA. And I thought, well, it's a weird system, and maybe if she would have gotten in, she would have been competitive, but we can't go off of maybes. And that was a juried system. This is like, we don't really have it in the same way anymore. So it's a huge miss. Wunmi Mosaku, I think, is really interesting because you're right. I feel like, I thought, could she be Yoon Jung in Minari, where she wins BAFTA and SAG? She misses the Globe nomination, but she gets in here. Or did she miss? Yeah. But she wins those two, and that's a really compelling package to put her over the edge. Her strength, I think, is that she has an industry prize, and her character is by far the most likable. And for women to win sometimes, that is really important. And then you have Tiana Taylor, who does not have an industry prize. She just has the Golden Globe. She has been everywhere this season. I adore the idea of his and hers Oscars for Sean Penn and Tiana Taylor. I think it's so fun to have Lockjaw and Perfidia Beverly Hills take home those prizes. And this is one of those places where I know common knowledge would say you go with someone who has an industry prize. Like you go with BAFTA or you go with SAG. But I'm going with Tiana Taylor here, and I'm doing it because of a feeling I've had, which is just that, like, when I saw the movie, I thought, this makes sense. Like, she makes sense as an Oscar winner. When she won the Globe, I could just see her holding the Oscar. And I think that in fractured races, like, you always, yes, go with the movie that has the most support, and that might lead me to think like, well, actually it could be Mosaku here instead. She actually has the industry support. But I don't know. There's something about Taylor that just still feels compelling to me, so I'm going to predict her.
Yeah. I've been on the Tiana Taylor is winning train from the beginning, and yet logic just says to get off because she doesn't have an
I
industry win.
know.
But she doesn't have a nomination miss anywhere. That is one thing for her that the others can't say. She also is potentially part of one of the two films for Best Picture, but so is Wumi Musako. And Perfidia Beverly Hills might be out. I mean, Aunt Gladys might be the most iconic character, but the most talked about character this year, for good and for bad, might be Perfidia Beverly Hills. It has been the idea of thought pieces, and she has provoked a lot of conversation, whether that's good or bad. It is, and it's even provoked a little bit of conversation back from Tiana Taylor. I remember interviewing her and thinking to myself, my God, how does this woman not win? Because she has this electricity to her when you speak with her, and she's on the red carpet with her daughter, and she's done every campaign site, every stop, everything. She's done everything to win this award. And she feels honestly like the one that makes the most sense on a traditional paper, but we're living in an untraditional year.
Mhm.
So I think I think it has to go back to Musako, and I think it has to go back to Madigan. Even though every logic says don't go with Madigan, go with Musako. That's actually the safest choice. But I
Yeah.
don't think that she's going to win that Oscar.
It's just
I don't
hard to
know. It's
picture.
very tough to imagine it. I think at the end of the day, though, in the middle of the vote, and this might be the difference between this is the sad difference between Lily Gladstone and Amy Madigan, is one, Lily Gladstone and Amy Madigan are in different categories in different years. And two, Amy Madigan is a elder actor, and she's also white. And there are different
Yeah, it's not
rules
one
that
to one. It's
no,
just
it's
like
not.
a
No, I know what you're totally.
yeah.
But also, Killers of the Flower Moon had 9 other nominations, I believe, to go alongside of it with Lily Gladstone. Because I think it was nominated for 10, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
It
Um,
lost 10.
it
Vote
lost.
for 10.
Well, it didn't
Yep.
win anything, so yeah, it lost 10.
Yep.
Um, I think that Madigan had the momentum after SAG, but how much momentum does everybody get after SAG? Does everybody just get momentum? Is this a 2022 situation where
Well,
every actor carries over?
we also have to really think about like when you think about previous years and how like last year they went with Adrian and Mikey instead of Timothy and Demi. Like they go with a BAFTA pair and a SAG pair, and this year they could do that, or but they really can't with BAFTA. Like they can in supporting, I guess, but we can talk about that later.
Oh, because of
But if
Aramayo.
they,
Yeah.
I just can't see all four SAG winners repeating given how different SAG is from the Academy membership.
Mhm.
Because this year, SAG rejected international performances and films outright.
Yeah.
The Academy didn't do that. They picked 5 performers from international films versus SAG's 0. So that tells me this guild it's huge, it's populist, and it's very different from how the Academy votes. And so we have to kind of consider that. Like, are we going to see 4 SAG winners repeat at the Oscars when those the ceremony happened in the middle of voting, not before it, with enough time to, I think, like make a huge impact, like maybe in the Everything Everywhere year or in other prior years. But also, like, I just feel like the membership is going further and further away
But
from SAG.
isn't it very interesting, Eric? I want to get your thought process on it, on the fact that Sophia's right. SAG had no international correlation whatsoever, and Madigan was able to win there. But then if you look at BAFTA, they didn't even nominate Amy Madigan.
Mm-hmm.
So like the SAG winner isn't even representative in a giant branch of the Academy's voting. In their other guild or their other ceremony, it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
fascinating how you could be like, oh well, maybe if she got into a field. No, there is no maybe. She didn't even get into the field over there to make an interesting battle there. We have not had this group fully. What is it? They all these actresses have not been fully, I think, in a group together. And because Musaku lost the Globe, right? So the last time all three, or she wasn't. Yeah, she wasn't nominated for Ghost. So the last time, what was it? CCA? Because Wumi Musako was nominated at CCA, right? So, and that went to Amy Madigan, obviously. But those are non-industry critics voting, and where Madigan was the overwhelming winner of critics groups votes, right, Erik?
Yeah. But I mean, it's those don't always align. We were
Yeah.
just talking about how Arkapaw was the overwhelming critics winner and then didn't win there. What I'll say about SAG is that two things can be true and have been true. One, they've gone 4 for 4 many times in the last decade. The other being that this year specifically was such a clear separation of the Academy as an international body and SAG-AFTRA as a very, very American group. And, you know, those random 2,500 people made a choice to actively avoid non-English language films. But something else that I look at when I'm looking at this, and we've only just started with this category, is how the breakdown is when two performances from the same film win and where that comes in, because it happens a lot with dual supporting. You know, we know it's only happened 3 times, you know, in lead. One of the least common too is lead actor, supporting actress. So if you're building this idea of what is this going to look like at the end, that was part of where I was looking at this. Because if I think that Michael B. Jordan is the Best Actor winner, is Musako a likely winner with him because of their connection in the film, or maybe less likely because the Academy doesn't favor that pairing? There's like 6 of those things floating around at any given time, and this year especially. And weirdly, it is also why I leaned to Madigan in a year that is this split, because Taylor or Musako should have also been able to kind of easily run this just as much as Madigan.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I mean, for
Mark,
the most,
have you given yours?
yeah, he
Yeah.
did. He gave Madigan.
Yeah, Ryan
I
and I
wasn't
then just started
listening.
talking a lot.
Sorry.
I'm working on my listening skills.
Sorry.
No, but
you're
I mean,
good. You're good.
I mean,
It's a tough category.
it's a really tough category. I
So
also
can I ask something?
yeah, sure.
Because
Ask.
we know that supporting is going to be the first category of the night, because it
Oh,
always
you know
is.
that? Okay.
Actor
It
or
always
actress?
it always is every single year.
Yeah.
And these are the 2 toughest categories, I think, that most, or 2 of the toughest.
Okay.
2 of them. Yeah.
Does everybody here think that one of those as a winner is the fortune telling of
Yes,
the end of the night?
No.
Yeah.
I do.
No.
But it's the other one.
No. Well, who are you asking? If it's Musako or Taylor?
Yeah. Or yes, because
okay.
yeah, if I'm
Oh,
asking
you're talking
if,
about
if,
Madigan
if,
there. I'm
if
sorry.
Musako wins, does that to you foretell a Sinners win at the end? If
No.
Taylor wins, does that foretell a one battle win?
No.
And if Madigan wins, what does that mean?
Madigan means
So-
that the course has stayed.
I think so
the
too.
course.
Exactly. Exactly.
I honestly
Yeah.
don't think it.
I think Taylor losing is not the same as Musako losing.
I've also, and I know again, CCA doesn't matter. I've been at a ceremony where one battle after another has lost everything except picture, director, and writing, and walked out of that room the top dog. You know what I mean? We've seen various scenarios this year of that. So, and obviously it's not going to be the case, I believe, at the Oscars, but um but yeah, even like a Tiana Taylor win, like if she were to win one, when was the last time somebody won just Globe to win Best Supporting Actress?
Well, can we talk about that? The Globe winners this year have been absolutely cursed.
Yeah.
I mean, so we're talking
Cursed.
Well, Timothy Chalamet,
That came after.
Jessie Buckley,
Jessie Buckley's the only one that
Yeah.
has survived.
Rose Byrne, which
Everyone
good for
else
her.
has lost
Who won the other actor
everything
prize?
since the Globe.
Oh, Wagner Moura,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Skarsgård.
Skarsgård, yeah,
Mhm.
and Tiana Taylor
Only Jessie Buckley has survived the Globes.
for a win
Yeah.
that you know of, because we
Well,
haven't
so-
gotten to Best Actor yet.
No,
haven't
I'm
gotten there
talking
yet.
about I'm talking about real awards that have happened. The Globes were the end for everyone
Oh, yeah,
except
yeah.
for Jessie Buckley.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Which
It's
is
just
crazy.
weird.
Which is
It's
crazy.
very weird.
No, also kind of just rad for the Globes then at that point. Because then they're not as predictive as
I guess.
they usually like to be.
That's
Yeah,
where
Mark?
my mind goes with these award shows, because it's not just Globe or SAG. Like, they're all over the place. And other than Buckley, the other three categories, they're all over the place. And I think that's what makes me feel this year is more competitive than I think the precursors are letting us know. Because there is no, other than some of the top prizes, there's a lot of spreading it out, and it's on the preferential ballot. And I know it won. We're going to get to picture later, and I know one battle won there, but that preferential ballot throws such a wrench into all of this. So I don't know. I don't think Masaku winning. I think Masaku winning is something Sinners. I don't know if it needs it, but I don't think Taylor.
I
I
mean,
don't think one battle needs Taylor.
I mean, to your point, to the point I made earlier, Eric, about I've seen various other things happen at award shows. Wumi Musako won early in that BAFTA, and then about 5 minutes later, Sean Penn won, and it was like, okay, we just
it's a wash.
yeah, it's a
Mhm.
wash. Like, and
Mhm.
now,
Yeah.
how people wanted to interpret that Musaka win versus the Sean Penn win was batshit insane. But
Mhm.
the fact of the matter is that they were both significant in their own right. But at the end of the day, the Penn win was significant in a sign of, holy crap, that one battle after another is if it's winning an award in the acting categories, it's actually Sean Penn and not Tiana Taylor, which nobody had on the board. But that's actually like, again, like if Wumi Musaka walks up on that stage, I'm not going to think, well, here comes the center sweep, because I've seen this at BAFTA and I've seen this at other places where wins have happened and we haven't fully seen how it's played out until it happens. Now, if Tiana Taylor wins, I would be more so likely to say yes, because she hadn't won a guild. She hadn't won at SAG.
Yeah.
She hadn't won at BAFTA. That would be you're probably right there. That would be the one where like, holy
I see
shit.
that.
Because this will be
But-
your first industry prize too.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
if an upset happens in supporting actor
Mhm.
that some people are predicting in like, I'm going to just throw his name out, like Delroy Lindo, that balances everything back. I'm just saying it does balance things back out and it makes it a wash. So I can't say that any of those wins early on
If it
in
was
the night.
Tiana and Delroy, I think I would just start laughing. I don't even know.
You're
That
just
would
thinking
be-
about the photo, right? Just
That
thinking
would
about
be
the photo.
crazy.
But like, no, I'm just saying
would
is
be
that like
madness.
I can't, I wouldn't be able to sit there and be like, it's done. Like, it's not like when Jamie Lee Curtis and Ki Kwan won and I was like, oh, they're just going to repeat SAG
Yeah.
and then it's over. It's not going to be like one of those situations. That being said, through all of this, I still have to make a prediction. I'm going to go with Amy Madigan because, and here's why I'm
After
going to,
all that,
yeah.
I thought you had actually already picked
I thought-
Taylor. You were
I
just
thought so too.
bloviating some more.
No, I just,
Boy,
here's the thing.
What? After
I can't pick Tiana Taylor. I can't do it.
I know.
I can't. I think that is one of those where my heart wants something to happen rather than my head, and I need to get over that. And I think that it's most likely Wumi Musako and Amy Madigan. And I just, for the love of God, cannot see a world where Wumi Musako wins this thing, which then I'm probably going to be wrong, and she wins it. But she also won BAFTA. Yeah,
I think any of those three can win.
Yeah,
I really don't.
I do too.
Because again, I go back.
That's why I want to see the numbers.
The smart industry choice. That's my thing.
Is that the smart industry choice? Really?
I might pick her. BAFTA's a big deal.
It is.
I know she's a hometown favorite, but like,
yeah, I don't put that much credence into that.
Yeah, I don't really either entirely.
And
they did kind of go with hometown favorites in places this year, but I'd still give her credit for winning that.
Yeah,
big win.
And she is not a low nominee like Amy Madigan would be.
Why did she lose SAG?
That's the other thing. Why did she? None of this is going to make sense until we see the Oscar winner.
If this was Everything Everywhere, which a lot of people are trying to say, or just like moving the chess pieces around to get to where they needed to be, then yeah, Musako should have won SAG as well.
Everything Everywhere won PGA and DGA. I just want to remind people of that.
Exactly.
But also, Sophia, I do think that, man, if anyone had the best speech, I thought at the actors, I did think it was Amy Madigan. Mm-hmm. And her like running on the stage, and she's the more iconic performance. And so it's the iconic performance that's a solo nominee versus two Best Picture juggernauts. That's what it comes down to. And so, but Amy Madigan once again feels like very much like, I would love to see that happen. That performance rules. I showed that movie to my mom last week. My mom hates horror movies. She's like, how scared am I going to get at this thing? And I'm like, yeah, probably not. And she's been calling me all week being like, that movie was creepy as hell. And she loved it. She was like, I hope she wins. She's like, I hope she wins. And I was like, okay. Well, and she's seen Sinners, and she's seen One Battle After Another and Sentimental Value. And she wants Madigan to win. But yeah, probably you are right. The smart move would probably be to go with Wumi Musako, though.
I'm going to switch to her.
And that's who I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Wumi Musako.
Yeah, just because of the BAFTA. Like, the BAFTA is a big deal. Like,
we had two switches like that.
If Taylor wins, if Taylor wins, I'll be thrilled. Like, she's my personal pick in the category. But I don't feel 100% right about anybody here. So I'm just saying, like, okay, who's the person with an industry award in
Fuck it, I'm going with Inga.
Congratulations, Elle Fanning.
Yeah,
right.
She's still waiting by that fence.
Suck it, Dakota.
No, I'm gonna go with Wumi Musako as well.
What are we doing?
What is happening?
Because
my God,
I mean, it's a very tough category. I think I'm also just trying to take myself out of it as well too, because I do love Madigan and I do love Tiana Taylor's performance. And I do think I'm trying to temper my own biases a little bit there.
How are you?
I mean, I think I am by picking.
I mean, yeah.
Because I mean, Sophia and I have been on the Tiana Taylor's going to win all year, and then she hasn't won. So you can't really pick that unless you're just predicting, based off of.
We're not of that variety.
Vibes.
Yeah, off of vibes and claps in a room. I don't do that shit. You know what I mean? So, but I do think that the BAFTA speech was good, and I do think that she has the BAFTA win, which is a big win, which was a big win last year. Every year's different though. Like, 1 year SAG matters, and the next year BAFTA doesn't. It's different voting block. But I'm gonna go with Wumi Musako at this point. And put it in.
All right. So is that locked in?
Sophia, do you want to change yours?
No, I'm done. I changed mine once. Okay. I'm done. It still doesn't feel right to me, but I'm just doing
None of it feels right.
Yeah.
Like I have on the ankler right now, I have Amy Madigan, and it feels right there. But then, Erik, to your point, like SAG goes 4 for 4 all the time. But it's been kind of rare the last couple of years for them to do that. Like 2020.
Four out of the last 8 years, they've gone all 4 SAG.
So it's a coin flip.
Yeah.
Mhm.
at that point. Last year they went 2 for 4. You know,
But we also usually have more sweepers,
that's true.
Mhm.
which is
Yeah.
part of that equation.
Which I think then
Mhm.
plays into the fact that it might not go 4 for 4 as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
That's why it makes 3 of the categories interesting, and one of them, congratulations, Jesse
Jesse
Buckley.
Buckley. Yeah. The
Mhm.
star of The Bride.
Oh my,
How dare you?
I truly
You
like,
know-
no, I can't speak about that performance.
no,
I love
no.
her in Hamnet.
Yes, yes. Sophia, I can't wait to
I'm
talk
like the
about
only
that
person
next
I
year
think
for
that
Best
liked her in
Actress.
The Bride.
Oh
Um,
my God. Whew. I described her as Natasha Lyonne goes to Rada. That's what it felt like.
Erik,
I think I just
Yeah.
said Buckley.
Best International Feature.
Ooh, okay. All right. We have from France, It Was Just an Accident. From Brazil, The Secret Agent. From Norway, Sentimental Value. From Spain, Surat. And from Tunisia, The Voice of Hin Rajah.
I love the way you said that.
Yeah.
The voice of it.
Yeah, it was a little too sing-songy for
Yeah, it was
a
a little-
movie
It sounded
like
like a
that.
poem.
That was kind of rude. Yeah, it was like a
Yeah, that was, yeah.
I
I don't
almost turned
know
that
what
into
the
a
hell was going on
haiku
there.
or something.
Um,
I'm going sentimental value here. It's I did the whole show with Christina earlier of trying to break down why it would be sentimental over Secret Agent or what the reverse would be. And I know that there is a lot of obvious online passion for the Secret Agent
better be nice right now.
by Brazilians who are a very populous and beautiful people.
There you go.
They're great. I love them. Love them all.
You love them.
I love them. But the thing that kind of I think is tripping people up is last year and with the Fernando Torres and I'm Still Here wins there, and then happening at the Oscars. And the reason that happened was because we had such a villain in Amelia Perez, and we don't have that. There's nothing to vote against this year with this lineup. Secret Agent does come with that fantastic casting nomination, but Sentimental has editing and directing and just a stronger position. But I think either could win, but I'm pretty overwhelming that Sentimental will win.
Sophia.
I also have sentimental value winning. It doesn't have the Carla Sofia Gascon problem that Amelia Perez did. So you don't really, have people who are wanting to vote against it. That's the thing. Like, even if people are thinking that passion might be waning for it, it's not the same case. I also am just dubious of the same country winning back to back. I feel like
Yes.
that hasn't happened in a really long time. And it looks like I'm looking right now. The 80s, Denmark won back to back.
Denmark is the
So-
last one.
Yeah, so I just feel like the odds of Brazil winning back to back, I don't know. I feel like sentimental value, they're both really strong, but I think the overall package for sentimental value is a bit stronger.
Mark.
I went with sentimental value for one simple reason. Sophia Ciminello's review at Akin was the best thing I read in 2025.
Wow.
And
That's really nice. Thank you.
My review of it was terrible. Out of New York. No, I'm just kidding. I picked sentimental value off of as much as there is passion for the Brazilians. I mean, like, this movie's like nominated for 9 Academy Awards. Like, what are we really talking about? Like, it's just like, I know that people, it has felt a little bit as if like sentimental value, because Stellan Skarsgård isn't winning that award, and it's not winning screenplay, and it's not winning some of these other places, that people are just kind of, from rumblings and things, it just seems like people are kind of down on it. But it's like, no, it's still strong, and people really love this movie. Even saw like an interview recently with Train Dreams director Clint Bentley talking about how much he loved it. There were a lot of people talking about it at the Indie Spirit Awards red carpet. It's just a movie that really made them cry, very emotional. I think that there is still, it's more plausible for me in my mind to think that the secret agent will walk home empty-handed than sentimental value. And I agree with Sophia, like back-to-back years for a country to win would be crazy. It would also, I would also be like, hey, wait a minute here. Like maybe we need to look at this, how much the Brazilians really do take into factor in this vote. But there is no Amelia Perez controversy. There isn't enough time for it to have built up this negative energy against sentimental value either. That's not even remotely out there. So yeah, I think also too, like Trier is a director. He's
Mhm.
There's a lot of love from uh the afterglow of worst person in the world still for people, and I think that it has carried itself all the way through Cannes as being the top priority for Neon, and I just see this film winning this category. It's pretty locked in at this point. Uh, and now, if Secret Agent won, I'd love that because I love The Secret Agent. I think it's a fantastic film. Uh, I think Kluber going up there would be a very relevant speech, very timely, because he has been this year when he's got up on stage. Uh, but I think it's going to be Joachim Trier, and I think that that's going to be a lovely speech as well. Uh, Joachim Trier, who's very much connected to Chloe Zhao and Ryan Coogler, was their mentor at Sundance. And it's going to be really great to see all of them in the room celebrating each other. So, for sentimental values, Sophia, best live action short.
Our nominees for live action short are Butcher's Stain, A Friend of Dorothy, Jane Austen's period drama, The Singers, and Two People Exchanging Saliva. I am going with Two People Exchanging Saliva. This might not be the smart pick, but the title is great here. I also think it kind of scratches an itch for some of the Yorgos Lanthimos lovers in the Academy, like that type of voter. It does have this strangeness to it, but I think it has a really good arc for a live action short. It's personally my favorite of the group, so I would go with that. I think here, I think that The Singers has a great campaign, and I wouldn't underestimate Netflix here. That would be my number two, and I could see myself switching to that at the end of the day. But that for me just never like fully came together in the same way as a short. So I'm gonna go with Two People Exchanging Saliva.
I'm going with um, I'm going with The Singers. I think that Netflix picking that up and um, people seeing it on that massive platform. Again, not using I'm not using my family as kind of like a tool for this. I usually don't do it a lot, but most of my family watched The Singer. Like after it was put on Netflix, like it just kind of was on the main page and people watched it, and my family were like, "Have you seen The Singers?" And I'm like, "No, I haven't had a chance to watch it yet." And I do think that, I mean, we have an
Your
interview with
family saw it before you did?
yeah, exactly. Very rare. Very
That's
rare.
hilarious.
Um, and so I had to catch up with it, and I thought it was good. But they have campaigned their ass off with this thing. I mean, heck, we have an interview up on the website with the film's director, with our own Eric Anderson.
Who is really good looking, by the way.
Very important person.
I'm just
Anyway,
gonna say
Important
it.
person.
there you go.
Mhm.
So I think that they have put in the work. I think people are going to, it goes back to, I think it's going to be the most seen. Whether that means that it's good or bad is remains to be seen. Um, but I think that in these shorts where it's all coin flips, uh, you could go with maybe the more popular pick, or you could go with like Sophia. I think quality matters as
Yeah.
well
I mean,
with
it
some of
is
these
kind of,
too.
mine is very off-putting though. Like I will say,
No,
I wonder if it's like too
sure, but
off-putting to the
like
general public.
Sure, it can't be as off-putting as those documentary shorts, with some of the hard subject matters that are in those
It's
films as
true.
well. But I'm going with the singers. I think I think it's the one that's got the push for it. Mark?
Yeah, I watched all 45 of the shortlisted shorts, and this was I'm
Oh,
sorry,
look at you, Mr.
two
Fancy.
people. Yeah, I put in my homework, and it does me no good. So I I actually went 1 out of 5 in my nominations in this category. The only one I got right was the saliva one, which was my favorite of the 45 shortlisted
There you go.
short films. So that's I landed on that one as well, just for personal preference, because I don't know what the hell else to do in these categories.
So you're picking
Two
the
people.
saliva one as well with Sophia. All right, cool. Erik, what are you picking?
I love this category. I actually like all of these films. They are extremely different from
It's
each
so
other.
rare for this category to like all 5, right?
I mean, it is the most. I mean, unlike really the other shorts, this is the most like really diverse types and styles. But it's a narrative versus documentary. It just can kind of be that way. I think it's really just between two films with one interesting spoiler. I am predicting The Singers because I think that at 17 minutes, it's a really good length. It has very emotional moments, very funny moments. It really kind of encompasses a lot. It's very, I think Cody referred to it as inoffensive. It's the most inoffensive of the nominees in a positive way. Which, yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. Sam Davis is a previous nominee in the documentary short category. These categories can often be where voters really sort of pluck a filmmaker out from the short film zone and get them to a career outside of this. I loved two people exchanging saliva. I felt it was less Lanthimos and more Pedro Almodovar light,
Maybe that's actually why I liked it.
which I liked, and it's beautiful, and I want every piece of clothing in it.
Mhm.
At 37 minutes, it's the longest of any of these. It really kind of just hits right before the cutoff. But Butcher Stain might be kind of the one that stands outside of all of these as the most serious one. It is more low key than the type of very socio-political films that have won here, but it certainly is hot buttony geographically. I'm still going with Singers, but I absolutely can see a Butcher Stain spoiler here.
Yeah, Butcher Stain, a great name for a grunge band in the '90s. Just gonna put that out
Wow.
there. I'm just gonna say. So
Yeah, it is.
yeah. Get your instruments, folks. We're having auditions next week. Mark, it's everyone's favorite category. It's or it's at least I know it's Jay Ledbetter's favorite category. We're talking about
Stooms.
best stooms, best costumes.
Yeah.
All right.
The nominees for best stooms are
We have Avatar, Fire and Ash, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, and Sinners.
all right, Mark. What you got?
I have Frankenstein here. I think, Erik, what is your line where you say costumes, wonderful costumes, or something like that?
Great gowns, beautiful gowns. Aretha Franklin.
That's sums up that entire movie.
All right.
That and a few other things. But yeah, I went with Frankenstein.
Erik, you got Frankenstein?
I have frankincense and myrrh. Yes, I do.
All right. Sophia, you got Frankenstein?
I do have Frankenstein with Sinners as a spoiler because
Yep.
of Ruthie Carter.
Yep.
Yeah, it's definitely my number 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have Frankenstein, and it's going to be great to have the wonderful Kate Howley, who I interviewed, and that interview is up on AwardsWatch.com. and talked extensively about her, I think, great work in this film. And yes, I think she's won every prize up to this point, and it's going to be a sweep, and it's going to be wonderful.
It's a sweeper.
And she's genuinely one of the nicest people you're ever going to meet.
She's a hoot.
She's so much fun. And so I can't wait to see what her speech is going to be. She took many years off in between working with Guillermo del Toro. She worked a lot with him on Crimson Peak, and now this is a return to form with her. And say what you want about Frankenstein, and whether you like it or not, those costumes are incredible in that film. So yes, it's a Frankenstein win across the board. All right. Well, it's only right that I get this next category. It's time for Best Director.
Oh my God.
Let's do it.
And the nominees for Best Director at the 98th Academy Awards on March, 15th of 2026 are Chloe Zhao for Hamnet, Josh Safdie for Marty Supreme, Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another, Joachim Trier for Sentimental Value, and Ryan Coogler for Sinners. It's Paul Thomas Anderson, and not even close. It's not close. It won't be close. It's done. It's going to be great to see that man walk up on that stage and get that Oscar. It's been a long time coming for this shit to happen. And after 14 nominations, he's going to have a Best Director and definitely it's going to have adapted screenplay when we get to that here in a minute. And celebrating one of our great auteurs. I'm just curious who's going to hand him it. I know that when Nolan got his a couple years ago, it was Spielberg. I know last year it was, I think it was Tarantino gave it to Sean Baker. And there was that great Once Upon a Time in Hollywood connection. So
I hate all of that kind of stuff. I hope they don't do that again.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, I like that.
Like
That's
it
great.
It's too presumptuous.
Yeah, that's fair. But
it's icky.
No, yeah, okay. But
well, then who should give it to him? Who should present?
I mean, the person I would love him to have gotten this award from is not alive anymore, and that's Philip Seymour Hoffman. If it was going to be that,
if it's a director,
Martin Scorsese.
I would have wanted Jonathan Demme to do it if he was still around.
Wow.
Or Martin Scorsese. That would be the person that I would wanted to give it to, because I feel, I mean, the other answer is Bob Altman, but like that can't happen either. You know what I mean? So
we're talking about people that can do it.
But Marty could, but he's filming. So
yeah, that's not going to happen.
I don't know who it would be. Probably it'd be Steven Spielberg, but he's in competition.
DiCaprio will be there, so he's going to have the day off of that. Why not just fly Marty out like in the overhead bin?
That's very fair.
He would fit.
He would
bring him along.
Yeah,
he's a carry-on.
He's like
in the cat carry-on. Yeah, no,
he's a little guy.
But this is going to be a big win for one of the great directors of our time. Erik, I assume you have Paul Thomas Anderson winning this award.
I am obviously going with Chloe Zhao for Hamnet here.
Talk about bias.
But yeah, no, I mean, this is it's pretty funny because even with people that have tried to predict a split, the way the split always goes is Paul Thomas Anderson winning, regardless. So there isn't a scenario really in which this doesn't happen. It would be like cataclysmic.
It would be the biggest
for
shock
it not to happen.
It would be the biggest shock in at least my Oscar lifetime. I wouldn't. There's been no indication that it would be somebody else, and even with the Sinners momentum, there hasn't been this momentous swing to we've got to get Ryan Coogler the win. There's been a lot of the Michael B. Jordan. There's been a crap ton of Delroy Lindo. There's been the film, but there hasn't been a lot of like Ryan Coogler has to be PTA, otherwise the night will be ruined sort of thing. And yeah, I agree with you, Erik. Everyone that has done or is predicting a split at this point, has Sinners winning picture and
Mhm.
Paul Thomas Anderson winning director. Sophia, who's winning best director?
I'm gonna cry if this goes our way. Paul Thomas Anderson is the reason why I'm here, the reason why I'm doing this. He's so important to me. And I think he's going to win this. He's won every award this year. He has not really fallen down. And Coogler also hasn't beaten him head to head anywhere, really.
Even at
And
CCA, like a place
yeah,
that
even at
could have done
CCA.
it.
And I was trying to think like, and we'll talk about picture, but I was trying to think back to because people are making Parasite comparisons, which I don't think hold. But I was trying to think back to that year because I predicted Parasite, but I still had Sam Mendes winning director. I predicted a split, and I consulted my good friend Nick, who of course got 100% on his predictions that year, iconic, about why he knew, like how he knew to predict Bong Joon-ho. And he was telling me that essentially, like that was always, that felt like a package to him for Parasite. Like Bong Joon-ho was Parasite. And like it just didn't make sense for Parasite not to win picture without it winning director. And for me, with Mendes in that year, he was a previous winner, and 1917 had a million things going against it. And one of those things was people just kept saying, like, really, we're gonna do this? We're gonna give Sam Mendes another Oscar and director when we have all these really cool nominees here. And that to me, I think, is just why that comparison doesn't hold. So even if we do have a different best picture winner than one battle after another, Paul Thomas Anderson is just way too out front, and it's a classic best director win. It like checks all of the boxes of a best director win. Huge technical achievement, overdue narrative, person who is clearly well respected and absolutely beloved by the industry, not just the internet, the industry. And I just feel like that's really important, right? International and American support here. So yeah, I'm gonna cry when it happens.
A prediction that we've had since April.
Yeah, yeah.
And
It
we're
just
going
always felt right to me.
always felt right. Mark?
Mhm.
Yeah, there's one precursor I've never bet against and I never will bet against, and that's the DGA.
Mm.
So Paul Thomas Anderson.
It's a great win. It's going to be a great win.
Yeah, I'm so
Just because
excited.
we're going to be, carry that prediction. Sometimes, you don't, Mark, Eric, you know this. You get to carry predictions from the start of all this all the way to the finish line. It's very rare that you get to see them happen like this. You know what I mean? Like, I know, Mark, last year you were carrying Conclave all the way till the end,
And
right?
Nolan before that.
And no one
Yeah.
before that.
Mm.
So sometimes you just have that gut, but then, the cards just play out the right way. And yeah, to Sophia's point, like this is Anderson winning here feels like a long time coming. And on Oscar night, he'll be Mr. Right.
It's just how the cards are rolled out for us.
There you go. It's not cards, Sophia. It's dice. All right, Eric, how you doing over
Yeah.
there? We're halfway through.
Yeah, I'm
Feeling
good. I'm
good?
Okay,
good.
we're doing pretty well on time,
Doing well.
especially since we knocked supporting actress out.
Yeah, we already knocked that out. Which I'm thinking about making a change by the end of this episode.
Oh
Best makeup and hairstyling, Eric.
Okay. Makeup and hairstyling, we have Frankenstein, Kokuo, Sinners, The Smashing Machine, and The Ugly Stepsister.
I just love the way you're saying some of these titles. It's just
They're
so
really
great today.
funny.
They're really great.
Yeah, it's Frankie.
Yeah.
Frankie and Johnny in the Claire de Lune. It's yeah, Frankenstein. Franken
Sophia?
goddamn Stein.
Frankenstein, it's done really well. It also got the character makeup at the guild, or no, special makeup
Special.
prosthetics at the guild, which is
Yeah.
which is a really important one to
It's the
get.
one.
Yeah.
And Jacob Elordi was nominated, so that's really all I need to see.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I mean, you want to see more of Jacob Elordi.
I
than
mean,
just
I
the
always want to see
nomination,
more
but
of
yeah.
Jacob Elordi,
Yeah.
but
But
I'll
of the
take what I can
nomination,
get.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Mark,
Yep. Frankenstein as well.
I agree. Frankenstein all the way. Sinners, though, in second place. Once again,
If there was a vote for the hottest makeup designer that's nominated, Sinners would win.
Excuse me, sir. We say important on the awards.
That's what I meant to say.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Very important makeup designer.
We don't know if Mike is listening or not. But if he is, you're a very important person. All right, Frankenstein with another win. That's 2 wins for Frankenstein that we're predicting on the board. Maybe one more after this. Sophia, best sound.
Okay, best sound. We have F1, Frankenstein, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Surratt. I'm going with F1 here. And this was what I was talking about earlier with the crossover between BAFTA and American Guilds. So while F1 did not win at MPSE, MPSE had a split where Sinners picked up 2 wins, but then Frankenstein actually got the big one, the feature effects Foley. So that tells me, not a lot of consensus. So I go back to F1, which has the BAFTA and also the CAS win, and then Association of Motion Picture Sound as well, right? Yeah. So I'm going with F1. It feels to me like the Top Gun Maverick Everything Everywhere sound editing split. So I'm going that way.
Mark?
Vroom, vroom. I'm going F1.
Erik?
Yeah, I did my sound predictions today and added a shit ton of like stats and if-thens, so you can go look at those so I don't have to like rattle them off all here. But yeah, that quartet that F1 has is pretty unbeatable. Coming in with just MPSE is pretty weak. It's Mad Max Fury Road is really the only comp for that.
It's a good movie.
Which was also a vroom vroom.
Yeah. Cars go vroom vroom in that movie for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, even looking at this category from when it was 2 to back to 1, F1 is favored all the way.
Yeah, it's F1. Oscar winning film F1.
That's right.
Gotta tell you.
Yeah.
I like F1.
I like F1 too.
F1's good. F1's been like all over my like it's now in the part where it's like streaming now, and like people can take like clips and put them on the internet, and there'll be like maybe like a minute clip of that movie from like the races or like the dialogue or whatever, and I just get sucked in it, and I'm like, I kind of want to watch this movie again. This is it's a good movie.
It should be winning visual effects. If you look at the VFX breakdown, it is
I don't disagree with you.
Incredible.
The fact that we're having to once again just default to Avatar.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to pick one $300 million movie to give this to, it should be
F1.
Did you guys always like F1? I thought I was alone on that.
No,
island.
I don't think that we like love it, like give it like, a place
it's
on Mount Rushmore.
It's still the bottom half of my best picture 10, but
it's definitely not the worst film nominated in Best Picture.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
I was doing my personal Best Picture rankings, and for F1, my sister said, "We had fun and you know it." So it's true.
Yeah.
No, like I saw that in the IMAX for the press screening, Mark, and it was absolutely fantastic. Like, it became like an internet, like, everyone just assumed like that was the film that like got what is it?
The dad vote.
Well, the dad vote, but then also got it was just an accident kicked out or weapons kicked out of the race because it's the populist film, and it's like no, it is. I mean, it's gonna do well in the text. Like if anything, it was probably Begonia at the end of the day, which is my worst film that's nominated. Hate that movie.
That's not what kicked it out.
But anyway, F1, congratulations! You're gonna make it to the finish line, an Oscar winner. Or as
I'll take it.
if it's a racing film, congratulations too. Anyway, Mark,
congratulations, you're a winner, baby.
There you go. Mark,
oh my God.
You ready?
Yeah.
Best supporting actor.
It's brutal.
Here we go.
All right, we have Benicio del Toro for One Battle After Another, Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein, Delroy Lindo for Sinners, Sean Penn for One Battle After Another, and Stellan Skarsgård, Sentimental Value.
All right, Mark. Where are you
Oh,
going?
this is to me, this is hard. I know Penn has won BAFTA and SAG, and that makes it maybe less hard, but it's so hard to pick somebody winning three. But I made that mistake in 2020 when Frances McDormand won. I couldn't see her winning three, but I don't think they give a shit anymore.
No,
I think
they
that's
don't.
something from like
Because you were too
Erik-
drunk
when
on
Erik and I were
haterade,
young.
Mark. That's why.
Maybe. But I think that's something from Erik and my era, maybe growing up, that, it took a lot to win two. And nobody was winning three, except maybe Jack Nicholson and Hepburn and maybe a couple others.
Meryl
at the time.
Streep.
But it was very, very, yeah. Well, she hadn't won her third at that
Yeah,
point.
it took her forever,
It took
though.
her a long
But
time.
yeah.
It took Harvey
Right.
Weinstein for Meryl Streep to win her third Oscar. Just saying.
God damn it, Erik. Yeah,
It's true.
it's
Fair enough.
true. Anyway,
So I think this we talked about earlier, how will there be a tell early in the show of what's winning picture, and I do think this category will play a long part in whether Sinners or One Battle wins. I just don't have the balls to pick Lindo with no precursor love. But man, the momentum of that film right now with SAG and whatnot, that I know maybe that's not something everybody believes in, but I do. I do think there's something to be said about momentum and timing of when certain awards get handed out. And he didn't win there because he wasn't nominated. But yeah, I'm gonna go Penn for now. That is one that I'm probably gonna toy with till the end, but it's hard not to pick Penn.
Sophia.
Penn is the most confident I am in an acting win outside of Jesse Buckley because he has
Sure.
SAG and BAFTA. So,
Yeah.
like, that's a big crossover in a year where we don't have a lot of crossover in these acting races. And for me, what's been interesting is that, when I first saw One Battle, I was like, obviously Penn is winning. Like, I don't care that he already has two. Like, it just feels like an Oscar-winning performance. It's so much and instantly iconic, and they love their villains. But then something different started to happen. So I thought, maybe we aren't doing this. I don't know. But in the back of my mind, the industry was always possibly going to play along. I just thought that Skarsgård would win BAFTA and Penn would win SAG, and then we would have a different kind of scenario. But when Penn won BAFTA, I thought, okay, it's over. Like, I have to predict him. And then him winning SAG too, like a populist group like SAG. I mean, for them to go with Penn feels, I don't know, that feels pretty big, even though it is the type of performance they would go for. And the Lindo thing just feels so engineered for the internet, for people to just have a little hope in something different. And I get the momentum for Sinners, I really do, but I just think it's going to manifest in other places. Like, we can talk about actor, and I think it's so strong in screenplay, obviously, and in other places too. But for me, I just can't predict someone who hasn't showed up anywhere against
Right.
someone who is winning despite not campaigning. Like, I mean, he's done some campaign events, but he's really just going off of what people like in the performance and in the film. And he kind of is a perfect representation of the One Battle acting. Like, for him to be the winner just has always made sense to me. So, Penn.
I totally agree with you, Sophia. The minute I saw One Battle After Another, I said, Sean Penn's winning his third Oscar. Like, it feels in the Erik was talking about it earlier with Madigan. It's like, we were talking about with like a classic winner there, like a veteran actor. This is such a classic late 2000s, early 2010s kind of villain performance. Like, it feels very Christoph Waltz-esque in that this is a guy that is villainous and he's doing terrible things, but there's also something darkly funny about him being the biggest idiot also on the planet, and he is also a massive representation of a lot of the politics and a lot of the themes that movie represents, especially that's very resonant. I do think that SAG and BAFTA win back to back is massively significant. And I don't give a shit about who in the trades didn't want to write about it. I'm going to say it. The fact that the Weathermen and the TikTokers voted with the same people as the BAFTAs for the same performance means something. It means that people like that performance. It's the one that they can all get around outside of Jesse Buckley. Like, that's crazy, right? Like, everybody was saying, oh, it's going to be this one and that one and that one and this one. Oh, it's going to be Stellan Skarsgård. Oh, maybe it'll be Jacob Elordi. There was, at time the critics, and we talked about this a couple weeks ago, where the critics were turning for Benicio to get him the nomination. But to Sophia's point, like, it always felt that pin would come back around with the industry, like Robert Downey Jr., where Robert Downey Jr., there were other people that were getting certain prizes throughout that year. There was a lot of Ryan Goslings. There was, some Mark Ruffalo's. There was some Robert De Niro's. But then when it came to the actual telecasts, they started going to that veteran actor's way. And yes, I know that Downey hadn't won one before. For a lot of people, for a lot of younger voters, they do not remember how great Sean Penn is because he has not been around in the last 10 to 15 years delivering great performance after great performance like he was for an extensive period of time that won him 2 Oscars. We're talking about close to a 15 years, difference, in between his last win and this one. And it's a completely transformational performance and different than those other 2 wins. He is absolutely fantastic in this film. And to his credit, yeah, he hasn't campaigned and it's probably helped him. But when he has campaigned, he's been a fucking Instagram meme. I mean, the Julia Roberts actors on actors thing was great. Then him showing up
good.
Looking like absolute death, smoking cigarettes next to Leo at the Globes was hysterical. The Palm Springs International or Santa Barbara International Film Festival, he showed up there and did a massive panel with Leo and with Benicio del Toro, where PTA presented the award and sat on a stage with Pete Hammond for an hour, which is, I mean, that's no small task for anybody. That's like a whole season's worth of campaigning right there. But anyway, point being is that he has been around. He hasn't been completely around and shaking the hands nearly like Jacob Elordi or like Stellan Skarsgård or even Benicio or Delroy Lindo. And yes, I understand that applause matters and that, how people scream in a room really gets headlines, but wins matter. Like, winning things matters. And Delroy Lindo hadn't won anything. He hasn't been nominated for anything. And he was shortlisted at BAFTA, and they didn't nominate him there. And so if those people who gave Wumi Musaku a BAFTA prize, gave Sinners other prizes there as well, if they weren't willing to get Delroy Lindo the nomination, yes, he got in on passion, but again, we're not talking about how he got in there in the first place, which is a lot of people talking about Paul Mescal and a lot of people not deciding on whether Paul Mescal was supporting or whether he was a lead. And I do think that split within Paul Mescal allowed for somebody like Delroy Lindo with a passionate group of people to get in there. But that passionate group is not big enough, in my opinion, to pull a Marcia Gay Harden and win this award. Not within the year like this when we have a clear performance that has won. If Benicio del Toro had won at SAG, then you'd have maybe a better case for that. If somebody else had won at SAG, that's probably going to be your winner there. Because like Jacob Elordi actually has a better shot, in my opinion, than Delroy Lindo. He has the makeup win for Frankenstein, which is a huge factor that has gone to many acting performances over the last decades or so in carrying the makeup win and an acting win. Stellan Skarsgård also has the same narrative Delroy Lindo has, which is this veteran actor in a film where like this is their first nomination and maybe their only chance to do so. And I want to say and give a shout out to Dan Bayer, who was on the Next Best Picture podcast and was talking about this and said that he really does think that Delroy Lindo and Stellan Skarsgård are going to cipher votes off of each other because they both come from that same sort of veteran actors, sentimental, first time, this is their only chance kind of win. And those people most likely are not going to take those votes away from Sean Penn to go vote for somebody like Delroy Lindo. That's what he thought. And I tend to agree with him there. And so I think this is Sean Penn. And I think it's going to be a great win. I think it's going to be a wild speech because I do think he will show up. And if he wins, I don't know what he's going to say. And I'm kind of ready for it. And I actually kind of think this is great because he didn't campaign. And he's winning off of not just the love of the film, he's winning off of the love of the performance. And that is very rare in the modern era to win off of essentially what the voters are saying merit rather than campaigning, which I kind of find to be very, very refreshing. And I kind of hope that, that this maybe win shows a template to other studios that like you don't have to give hundreds of millions of of dollars of campaigning to if you have the character and you have the momentum and you have the role because then it can speak for itself. So I'm going with Sean Penn. Erik, where are you going with?
Okay. That was long.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Sean Penn.
Anyway, we got to go to the next category.
And so, I mean, honestly, yeah. Sean Penn, this is an easy prediction. Let's get that out of the way. Let's also get out of the way that somebody of Sean Penn's caliber is absolutely in the 3 Oscar territory of the people that he is going to join. It's kind of weird and crazy to say that he's not. He is a generational actor.
He is.
Every person that came after, every actor that came after him looked to him as a Brando of the 80s and 90s.
Yep.
Yeah, and because everything is not apples to apples, he's absolutely somebody who does not have to campaign for the award side of it. He absolutely campaigned for the film and for screenings and for Q&As and did all of that, and then showed up for Globes and Critics' Choice, and that was it. He's like, I think I'm done. And he can kind of do that. He can afford to do that. Other people maybe not as much. But I don't know. This feels like a pretty easy win. And again, like I was saying with supporting actress, I'm breadcrumbing to potentially how these 4 wins work together or don't work together if they even need to.
Sean Penn's performance, if he wins, he will be my favorite winning performance of the decade in the category so far.
Well, I mean, it's a
low bar.
Limbo low bar, but yes.
But I'm just saying it because people are, I don't know. People have thoughts on this performance, and I really like it.
I think they have thoughts on the person.
But that's not going to matter.
No, I know it doesn't, but I think that's what a lot of people are mad about him getting the third, or trying to find other avenues for other actors to win. It's like because they don't like him or they don't like the idea of somebody getting a third. Into what I was telling Mark earlier, they don't give a shit about if somebody's won 3 or 2. You know what I mean?
Remember when Adrian Brody won? He's not
last
exactly
year
likable.
No, yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, Lockjaw is such an interesting character because, I mean, to Sophia's point earlier, it's a lot easier to win an Oscar if you're a horrible man than if you are a horrible woman.
Correct.
But I mean, this category is just littered with absolutely rotted male characters playing just horrible villains. And there's something so specific and unique about Lockjaw this year because of the world that we live in now and how he kind of represents a like deep dyed in the wool like MAGA voter and supporter who suddenly becomes a member of the Leopards Are Eating My Face club.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens to him.
Yeah, my friends in the UK will send me news have sent me news clippings from there, like news articles of Penn in one battle being compared to Bovino. Like that's how their news was covering it. Like we're not going to see that here because our news wouldn't do that, but that's how they're seeing it, which I think is funny.
Yeah.
That is
Darkly funny, of course. Yeah.
Yes.
No, for sure. Well, Sean Penn looks like he will be getting his third Oscar. It's a great performance. Can I ask though, if there is a runner-up and somebody that could be potential spoiler to Sean Penn for all of you, who is it? Erik?
I mean, when I did my predictions last week, I put Elordi second and Skarsgård third, and only because of the makeup win that it's likely going to get, and just being able to kind of eke that out. But I mean, like I said, the Golden Globes were an absolute curse. I don't know what happened with Skarsgård.
Maybe it was
Could have won. He could have won BAFTA. Like, why
Yeah.
not?
maybe it was the
Um,
person
Critics'
playing the
Choice.
playlist that
Here's
scared
my
you know.
Critics' Choice photo.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
it was.
It might have been
Mark, I
that.
asked him about that when I
Yeah, they
interviewed him,
did.
and it was really funny.
Yes, it
It's
is really
bad
funny.
food.
So,
Yeah.
Bad.
also
It's just bad food. Oh my god.
Sophia, who would be your not your personal runner-up, but like your runner-up for if you had to pick somebody else outside of Penn?
I would say Skarsgård because he was nominated at BAFTA.
Uh-huh.
I know he missed the SAG nomination, but I think Sentimental Value is really strong and he showed up there. Elordi, I don't know. That always just felt so strange
That was
to
such
me.
a
Like the
weird
nomination
win.
was the reward, and
Yeah.
CCA, that win was so weird. But yeah, I think I'd go Skarsgård.
Mark?
I know it seems odd, but I think Delroy is the one. If I wasn't picking Penn, it's just Penn won the ones that matter most, and so it's hard to really pinpoint a runner up. And so
Pinpoint.
my basis is on who do I think's winning Best Picture at that point, and if Sinners is turned a tide, I think Lindo gets swept up in it. So I would still say if I was
The only
predicting
tide is
Sinners-
ocean waves, baby.
Mhm.
If I was
I
predicting Sinners to win picture, I would be picking Lindo with it.
so
Oh wow! All right, so that tells us.
Well, that's a telltale
quite,
sign
quite,
right
quite
there.
a bit there.
That's a spoiler.
Oh.
I mean,
guess, but
I have Lindo at 5, and I'm just not going to budge
I
from
get it.
that.
you've
I
been
totally
stubborn
get
on
that.
that for the whole time since the
It's-
nom. So
This isn't Marsh. It's not
statistically,
Marcia
he's
Gay
the
Harden.
easy fifth.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's the easy fifth if you're looking statistically. And I again no proof, or we're never gonna know, I guess, unless of course
Sure.
somebody else other than
But
Ben
again,
wins, but
if supporting
Yeah.
actor is the first award and Lindo wins, fucking
I'm
call
turning
it.
it off.
Yeah.
Call it right there.
Sinners is winning double digits, I think, at that point.
Well, but what
Well,
if
I don't know if I go that
well
far,
what if it goes the other way and then
think
Tiana
so.
Taylor, like we were saying earlier, then wins
because
that-
that's not the
well,
same.
It's not as reliant to me.
It's not the same.
I-
That's apples and
yeah.
oranges.
Yeah.
I think you guys are playing in a different set of fucking roles at that point.
No.
If one wins,
Someone with 0 precursors winning versus somebody with all of them, that's not
I mean-
the same.
it would
Let
still
me ask you
still
this.
balance it all out. in
Oh
my
let
opinion.
me
my
ask you
God.
this though. Let me ask you this though. Can
Your
you
thumb's
see
on the scale.
one battle? Can you see one battle after another winning Best Picture without Taylor?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
because
I
Ben
don't
will
see
be there.
Sinners. Right. I don't know that Sinners wins Best Picture unless they are all in on Sinners, and that would include Lindo. That's
That's a
my
very fair
stance
point.
on it.
Like an everything everywhere acting package type of.
Yeah.
Like they have
Yes.
to take
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
But at
Yeah,
that point in that year, they had taken everything. They
Yeah,
had
they
taken
had.
the DGA, the PGA.
They
and-
just didn't
and
need
4
BAFTA.
SAGs.
I get
Right.
it.
No. And in
Yeah.
this
It's
case,
different in a lot of ways, but
yeah.
there
I
are.
think the
there
thing
are
about-
signs.
And Mark, I see all your points about Delroy Lindo. I've heard every point about Delroy Lindo probably over the last couple of weeks. And I think that for me, we were in the room at CCA when he did his speech there for the ensemble, and we all watched the SAG speech. I don't think he was as impactful as people want to make it out to be. I think that the more impactful speech was somebody like Michael B. Jordan. I think that Jordan's speech was much more emotional and much more pointed and much more focused. And so I think once again, like Penn's non-speech actually benefited him. Like it's weird
Yeah.
to say that like non-speeches and non-campaigning have helped somebody. But like, yeah, if there was any reason to then hate Sean Penn, like my God, the people in this industry would have come out and not voted for his ass. And they're still giving him awards. And I think that Delroy Lindo's done all the campaigning in the world. He did it to get the nomination and he's done some still. But it's also the difference between we want a good story and what we really think is going to happen. Delroy Lindo would be a wild story, honestly, for him to win this and be Marsha Gay Harden and not have any precursors.
It'd be, yeah.
You know,
It'd be James Coburn is the last to win in this category without any of the major wins.
yeah. And so,
That's like
I mean,
1998.
but I agree with you, Mark. I think you have to, because one battle is so far out front, you have to have a domination at that point. And we have just not seen a single guild
Yeah.
or a single telecast willing to go that far, even when they had the chance.
That's why I'm predicting Penn, right?
Yeah.
But I'm saying
Mhm.
if one of the areas I think I struggled with most this year with predicting is I have Sinners as the runner-up 11 times. That is insane to me to think that it's going to finish second in 11 categories. I'm going to be wrong somewhere where I have it second. It's going to win probably one or two of those spots. And that's why I think cinematography isn't necessarily a done deal, because looking at the 11, where does it have a shot to pull off one or two extra wins? And it's
I
tough.
mean,
It's tough to see that.
yeah. One of the things with that though, Mark, is that I fell into that trap when my favorite movie of the year, The Power of the Dog, was the nomination leader and did so well. And I'm not saying Sinners is The Power of the Dog. It obviously has more passion than that, but I just kept saying, like, oh my God, it's the runner-up in every category. Cinematography, maybe adapted screenplay.
Yeah.
Like Benedict Cumberbatch, is he the runner-up? Cody Smith McPhee. Like I just kept going down the list and I'm like, it got all these nominations. It even got production design. Like, why isn't it winning more? Like it's really just winning director. And when you have multiple movies with high nomination tallies, like
Right.
there are going to be a lot of losses regardless, right? Like even one battle is probably going to lose like
6
close to
Oscars.
50% of
Yeah.
its
6, 7
nomination
Oscars.
tally, you know? So I think that's just part of it. It's
There you
like
go, Mark.
some of these are just going to be runner-ups, but it's just the
Yeah,
way
I
it
agree.
goes.
But
Yeah.
it's also the way
That's why I went the way I did with
Mhm.
those 11 categories,
Yeah.
right? But it's still hard. I mean, that's if I'm not mistaken, that's at the end of the day what I'm predicting, and I think most of us are predicting, is that it's going to set the record for most nominations and it's going to set the record for most losses.
Yes, because that's also how it played out at BAFTA. That's how it's
Right.
played out at CCA. It played out like that in a way.
Mhm.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Like it's played out like that, and
It has.
and I think I think people aren't ready for that. So they're over predicting in categories and reaching for things when like Delroy Lindo, like love Delroy Lindo. I think he's a great actor. I think most like everybody, I totally agree he should have got nominated for The Five Bloods. We cannot right wrongs 5 years ago, now 5 years later. And like there's just like that's not how the Academy works. That's how Twitter brain works.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that there is not a reality check for most people that movie's going to walk away with a lot of losses. Every film's going to walk away with a lot of losses. Like we're about to talk about Marty Supreme here in a minute with actor. I was going to walk away with 9 losses. If Sentimental Value loses international feature, that's 9 losses. Like Frankenstein is going to win.
A lot of losing tonight.
Frankenstein's going to win 3, like we're predicting, but is going to lose 6. Like like that. It's how it works. Like we don't have the Lord of the Rings years anymore. That doesn't happen. And even like something as strong as Oppenheimer, that still only won 6, and it was nominated for like 13 or something like that. So it'll be very interesting. We all picked Penn.
Yep. Sure. Yep.
But yeah, I mean, if Lindo won, that would be. It wouldn't feel. That would
I
be a.
think I need to take away, like, I am reacting negatively to it because of how people have been talking about it.
I think that
It
that's
has
the
been
thing.
like driving me crazy.
I think
So I
that
think I need to remove that
no, I
from
think that that's a
this.
very fair thing to say, Sophia, because I do think that people have been hope predicting this more than actually analyzing it and thinking it. Like Erik, actually, your rankings, to be fair, you could put. I think the highest you could put Lindo based off of everything is probably, if you wanted to be generous, fourth, because you could battle between him and Benicio del Toro to
Hmm.
to do that. But Sarsgaard has a globe, and that acting correlation with makeup is a big thing. And Lordy does have a win on the board at CCA. Those are wins. And again, they may not have guild or they may not have BAFTA people in there, but they're televised shows and televised places to give speeches. And sure, they don't look like they're gonna matter, but wins on the board do matter when we're talking about the difference between like a BAFTA and Globe winner versus a CCA and a SAG winner. Like we do that all the time. Uh, but I think that when you're ranking this out, like that's the realistic place. As of right now, you can say that. But then of
Statistically.
course, if Delroy Lindo wins, then yeah, clearly they have passion for sinners. But wouldn't it be something if Delroy Lindo won and it still didn't win Best Picture? What would that even look like? Like that would be a wild
That's
thing. But
that
we've
would be
lived in a
wild for
wild
sure.
season. Like it wouldn't
Right.
logically make sense on paper, but
I think
that's
there's
an outcome.
something to be said too about Del Toro having been the overwhelming leader
Critics.
before we got
Yeah.
to Critics' Choice, including two of the trifectas, and then being an absolute non-factor uh, from January on. I mean, that's also kind of something I'm looking at as a small component with all of the acting categories. I mean, Tana Taylor and Amy Madigan are trifecta winners. Skarsgård is a trifecta winner. Jesse Buckley, none of the trifectas, but the overall leader and uh, the sweeper. And then when we get to actor, that's a whole nother weird conversation.
Yeah. Honestly, there's not one of the five in supporting actor that, if they won, I would be completely shocked by. Like, I think there's a path for all five of them to win, which is what makes this one of the harder categories. Even though I agree with what you guys said, it's the second easiest acting category, but that's really because the other two are outrageously difficult.
No, I think that it is the easier category, but there is still avenues and possibilities that we had to talk about. And I think that this is a
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
great conversation that we had. We'll
Yeah.
find out on Sunday where they ended up. I mean, what if it is Stellan Skarsgård that then pulls the upset? Or what if it is Jacob Elordi that keeps
Yeah.
the makeup
Yeah.
stat? Or,
I would love
what
Elordi to win.
whatever this
I would
winner
love it.
is, like I think that it's not, I mean, I think the possibilities are open to just then it being a pin and Delroy Lindo option, because then that feels like a very all or nothing sort of option bank, and it doesn't really make a lot of sense for it to be that. But we're gonna move on.
It's the narrative. It's the narrative you. When I do these, I try and create a narrative for how do I see this playing, and again, I think the Sinners narrative is I just don't see it winning unless it's like a massive total.
No, I totally agree with you, Mark. And again,
Yeah.
it would also have to debunk the trend that we've seen in the
Right.
last couple of years of like films have a cap. It seems like, and that's okay. And honestly, that's okay. You know, um, we don't have the 7, 8, 9, 10 winners anymore. You know, and sometimes also the nomination is the win, as Amanda Seyfried said one time. Um, Erik, production design, an easy category.
Oh my God. Yes. Let's spend very little time on this.
I was gonna
45
say that
minutes.
was a journey.
Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, one battle after another, and Sinners, Frankenstein is my prediction.
Frankenstein's my prediction. Sophia?
Mine too. Yep. Easy
Mark?
one for me.
Same.
All right. Frankenstein walking away with 3 wins on the night. No hesitation there, right? In those 3 wins. Like those it's gonna
Mm-mm.
happen, right?
Nope.
Mm-mm.
All right. Sophia, another easy category for you. Best animated feature.
Oh, great. Okay. Animated feature. We have Arco, Elio, K-pop Demon Hunters, Little Amelie or the Character of Rain, and Zootopia 2. This is K-pop Demon Hunters. Annie's 10 for 10 sweep.
Gee.
Golden Globe, Critics' Choice, done.
Mark, your thoughts on K-pop Demon Hunters winning because you love that movie so much?
This is the worst year for animated films that I can
Oh my
remember.
God, I love K-pop Demon Hunters. I
I
love
know
it.
everybody does. I just didn't. So yeah, but I go K-pop because how can you not?
There you go. Erik, K-pop.
Yeah, there's no Flow or Boy and the Heron type of
Right.
alternative this year, even if somebody wanted there to be. So this is
Right.
such an easy win for K-pop.
All right. K-pop Demon Hunter it is. 4 for 4. Let's go. 2. Mark Johnson.
Oh,
Best actor.
okay.
Oh my God.
Well, this is the hardest category of the night, in my opinion. And the nominees are Timothy Chalamet for Marty Supreme, Leonardo DiCaprio, One Battle After Another, Ethan Hawke, Blue Moon, Michael B. Jordan, Sinners, Wagner Moura, The Secret Agent.
It's Wagner Moura. Thank you very much.
Oh, Wagner.
I've had enough
Wagner.
people yell at my ass this season about that. Like Mark, like he's a vampire. Wagner Moura. Yeah, just think of it like that a little
Wow.
bit. Or
Stop
Wagner
giving me the
Mara.
categories with names that are weird. God.
Yeah, I know. Mark, you said this is the hardest
So-
category for you.
Yeah, this is my number one hardest category on the night, and I'm still kind of deliberating between a bunch, but
If you need
today-
time, do you need time?
no, I mean I need days.
Okay.
before I'm done with this. I'm still digging into a lot of the history and stats and all that stuff, but it is really hard not to pick Michael B. Jordan after SAG, and I guess that's where I'm leaning right now is Michael B. Jordan.
So the thing about like Michael B. Jordan is he has that SAG win, and that's a big win on the board. The problem with this whole season, of course, is we don't have a BAFTA winner that's in the race. And so over the course of the last couple of days, I have seen so many people try to, well, this is how Carey Mulligan could win for Promising Young Woman sort of situations themselves for Leonardo DiCaprio, for Timothée Chalamet. I mean, Wagner Moura didn't even have a chance at BAFTA or SAG. He's very much in the Fernando Torres path, and we all saw how that turned out last year. Is that led a lot of people astray, and Fernando Torres did not win, and I do not believe Wagner Moura will win either. So yeah, that's where Michael B. So it seems like it's Michael B. Jordan, but I don't know. Maybe somebody's got something different. Erik, what do you have?
This category pisses me off. I don't like this category, and it has nothing to do with the nominees. It is just the path that we have taken to get here. It's crazy.
Yeah.
The trifecta thing I mentioned before, Ethan Hawke and Wagner Moura are the only trifecta winners, and they're really like 4 and 5 for me. We have Chalamet, Jordan, and DiCaprio as the likeliest top 3 in this group, and they haven't been able to win a LA, New York, or National Society of Film Critics. That is really unusual. It's really unusual. What's even more unusual is that single SAG win. It's tough because it feels like such a SAG win. SAG is so much more willing to vote for people of color than the Oscars are, in much higher numbers, and that don't result in Oscar wins. It's really treacherous. Obviously, what Jordan has in his favor is a 16-time nominated film that people really love. But like the last acting winner to lose both BAFTA and SAG when they're nominated for both was George Clooney in Syriana. Before that, Sean Penn for Mystic River. You just have these scenarios in which,
Yeah, I know that guy.
when it happens, it's odd, it's weird. And I think, for certain things you can pretty easily point to why. I mean, George Clooney winning for Syriana has more to do with Good Night and Good Luck than it does with Syriana.
Well, Penn had Bill Murray and Johnny Depp. He had a very competitive category.
A split race.
Yeah, which is what we're at right now.
We're in that as well.
Because Penn won like he won like Golden Globe and Critics' Choice.
Oh, yeah, he did like the reverse, well, like the Chalamet.
The Chalamet of it all. Yeah.
Yeah, but Mystic River was kind of a big deal. And
it also had supporting actor.
Won its two acting wins. This category is just driving me absolutely crazy. It's
brutal.
I have to lean to Michael B. Jordan here, which is probably where I'm going to end up once I publish this, probably, I don't know, tomorrow or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's nobody really makes a lot of sense, which is why, how great and funny would it be if it was just DiCaprio winning out of nowhere because he's in the Best Picture winner?
Scream.
Be still my heart.
You would hear me in California from New York.
Well, let me tell you something, Erik. If that happened and Delroy Lindo had won, then check fucking mate at that point. You know what I mean? I would be like, it's done.
I love the idea.
It would be so funny if that was what happened.
DiCaprio and
Leo
Penn
and Lindo
winning together after
they had one scene together.
After the flip for Mystic River, when Penn won lead and brought in the supporting winner, which was also an unevenly matched year when Tim Robbins won. So
yeah.
Weird things happen. Everything that's going to happen is going to be weird. And anyone that's going to be like, I called it. No, you didn't. You lucked out, and it's really cool that you did it, but you didn't call anything, because there's nothing that we're going to be able to really properly go, this, and this happened. If it's Jordan, then yeah, SAG was obviously very strong and Sinners is strong. And that's what makes him not an easy prediction, but the most logical one, because no one else makes any sense here.
Yeah. The only person that gets to brag is if Ethan Hawke wins for Best Actor. Clayton Davis is the only one that gets to brag about that.
Yeah, but he already changed that.
But he already changed it, so he can't take. You know what I mean?
That was a very short-term prediction.
I know, but I'm just saying, if that did happen, Clayton's the only one that gets to gloat at least a little bit about that. But like the Brazilians would gloat about Wagner Moura, obviously. I think that Sophia, I'm going to ask you and get it to yours. Is Chalamet? What the hell has happened? I mean, take this internet controversy this past week with the opera stuff out of it, because all that stuff started surfacing.
I'm not doing that.
After. Yeah. No, I know you're not, but I'm just saying, like, for our listeners, none of that mattered. Nobody gives a shit. It was a dumb, stupid thing that he said. It's also like, of course he would say something like that. Like, but in that same conversation he had with McConaughey had said far worse things about AI that I would actually be more concerned about, and that's CNN Town Hall, thinking that an AI category will be at the Oscars in 5 years, which is ridiculous. But everyone kind of thought after CCA and Globes, it was his sweep, and it did well at BAFTA, and it did well at the Oscars. What's happened to him?
I think it's a combination of things. I think his film kind of did what A Complete Unknown did, but not even as well, which is it peaked at a similar time when people were voting for nominations. And I just think it is actually a very polarizing film. Like, I actually think a lot of people, don't like it enough to give it votes in other places. And I think to win in a lead acting category, there has to be some sort of passion either for the performance, like Buckley, and I do think people like Hamnet, even though it missed in places. But Marty Supreme, like this is a movie that just hasn't been collecting the hardware this year really anywhere. So that's part of it. I think it's the movie. I also do think the campaign is a huge part of it. I'm just going to say that because I think while his campaigns are excellent at selling tickets to his films, like he's getting people to go see his movies in a way that other people are not. Like he is kind of one of one there, I think. And while I think it's fascinating that he views awards almost like an athlete would. Like I think that's interesting that he's doing it that way. And I do think it's kind of compelling that someone is just saying, like, I want to be the best. Like I want to be the Michael Phelps of this. I want to be the LeBron of this, and all of these people he's referencing. But actors are very different than athletes. With athletes, there's that kind of respect around that mentality. And with acting, I think people want you to be a little bit more diplomatic and humble about it. And I think he's still viewed as young. Even though he's 30 years old, I think when people look at Jacob Elordi or they look at Paul Mescal, they see, just despite those two being younger than Timothy, they see adult men in a way that they don't see with Chalamet. And I think a lot of that comes from attitude and it comes from the characters that he's played also. And I think that was we kind of, I think he was anointed early as, oh, it's his time. Like he's going to be a season sweeper, especially because he definitely was runner up last year in actor after winning SAG. But I also think that SAG win was partially because they just hated The Brutalist, and A Complete Unknown is way more up their alley. So yeah, I don't think we were looking out far ahead enough. And if you look at Michael B. Jordan, he actually has a much more compelling movie star coronation arc than Chalamet does here with Sinners, because that movie made more money. He's also been around longer. He has, I think, he's worked in different forms in across film and TV for a really long time. He's about to direct a project. So I just think there's a lot of respect for Jordan that where he comes across as a man, where Timothy, I think, still does come across as a boy a little bit. And that's not totally his fault, but I don't think the style of campaigning that he does helps. And we know they don't always just vote for performance. Like, even if you think Timothy gave the best performance of the year, that doesn't always matter. Like, that doesn't always translate to how people vote.
So you're going with Michael B. Jordan?
So I'm going with Michael B. Jordan, yes. I think that while it doesn't make perfect sense to me, we don't know who was second at BAFTA. And even then, like, I don't even know what I would do in that case. But to have the only industry win on the board and from a film like Sinners, and everything I just said about Jordan, I have to go with him.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Mhm.
If DiCaprio had won, I'm going to play the what ifs. If DiCaprio had won BAFTA, would that have changed your mind?
Oh God,
I would be predicting DiCaprio.
Absolutely.
If Chalamet had won BAFTA, would that have changed your mind?
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah.
Sophia?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
It would have.
Logically, this is just logically.
SAG only is hard. I know.
No,
That's
no.
the thing.
I'm only asking that because I don't think Michael B. Jordan was going to win at BAFTA even when he was nominated. I don't think he's second there. So I don't think you can make that distinction. Plus, One Battle After Another was the more popular film at BAFTA. You could make the argument, if you wanted to, that Leonardo DiCaprio was second. I'm not going to make that argument. That's just making an argument based off of popularity. That doesn't mean that, the movie's been popular everywhere else and Leo hasn't won anything. So there's also that to factor there as well. I remember Erik, Sophia, and myself were on Ethan Semi's movie draft podcast. And we were talking about Best Actor when we were doing our Oscar preseason prediction draft. And I said on that show, and it was used as a clip, and I got a lot of hate for it. that I don't think Timothée Chalamet will win the Oscar because I think they will give it to an adult. And I think a lot of people got fucking mad at me of that shit. And it proved to be right because I think the campaigning, I think him leaning into Marty Mauser helped the movie get to its box office, be one of the not the most successful film in A24 history, and solidify himself as a movie star. But then when he won the awards, he flipped off the switch and he realized that there was something about the edginess, I think, that either rubbed people the wrong way or that they realized it was all an act or something. And then I do think that, him not getting a supporting performance, which, it's, I don't remember, what was it? Rami Malek was the last time that a Best Actor winner did carry a supporting performance.
Phoenix.
Or Joaquin Phoenix, yes.
But then Rami Malek the year before. Too,
yeah,
so.
But there was like a little block there.
Yeah,
but
and Gary Oldman, that whole section.
And then, it was bananas. But before that and after that, it was like rare. Mm-hmm. And yet I think we just assumed because, yes, A Complete Unknown did really well. Sophia, to your point, like The Brutalist did terribly with the guilds last year, but then it did pretty darn well with the Academy. And yet BAFTA helped us out there because it weighed out the populist pick at SAG. And that's where Michael B. Jordan sits, with a very populist pick as his winner. Most of these winners, I would say, are pretty populist picks out of there. Like Mannequin and him are very popular picks for SAG. And yet, while we could debate who's second and whatnot, Michael B. Jordan didn't make a speech. And Viola Davis did go crazy on that stage, whether, it turned into a meme herself. But if you watched Michael B. Jordan's actual speech and you listened to how he talked and how emotional it got him, that was the Best Actor winner right there. Like, that to me was like all I needed to know about, like, maybe it could be Chalamet, or maybe it's Leo in The Surprise, or, can the Brazilians get Wagner over the hump? Whatever, because it's not Ethan Hawke, and it's not going to be Ethan Hawke. But Michael B. Jordan, when he walked up there, he just looked like that's going to be the guy that's going to win. And there is something spiritual about the whole thing too, Sophia. I know Erik hates when, things are sort of, made out to be on the stage. But I do think his win is very much, in a way, he gets to be cemented himself as a movie star. He gets to be what I think a lot of people thought Chadwick Boseman was going to be, which is the next Denzel Washington of his generation. And this win solidifies that. And his partnership with Coogler is a massive reason why. It obviously isn't even Denzel at that point. It's De Niro and Scorsese. I've heard a lot of comparisons about that. And I think that Coogler winning on the night with Michael B. Jordan would be a great photo to see for these two guys that have, Michael B. Jordan's been in every Ryan Coogler film, and they have worked together their entire careers. And the way that Michael B. Jordan talked about Ryan Coogler as if like he sees him like he was the only person that was right for this role. It makes total sense. It's also massive, he's playing two characters. There's big moments. There's subtlety in it. It feels like he won at the right time for the passion for sinners to go to somewhere. It feels like it goes to Michael B. Jordan. And that's where I've felt it this week, is like Michael B. Jordan is going to win. And the enthusiasm in the room for him, that mixed with online, mixed with most of the passion for him in general, I think people will feel really good about that. And I think that he will be a great winner. I think he will give a great speech. So I'm picking Michael B. Jordan. I don't know if, I don't know if he will win. If he does win, it would be great. I don't know if Chalamet is going to win for that film because he doesn't have anything else that movie is going to win. Same with Wagner Moore, same with Hawk. That's why I know, Erik, you were joking, but I still think the runner-up is Leo. And if that's your
Why,
runner-up, then
why am I catching strays here and not even saying anything in return?
because it kind of seems silly to think that, you know what I mean, right? But he's only my runner-up off the strength of the film. He's not a runner-up on any precursors whatsoever. But I do think people have soured on Chalamet a lot.
Chalamet even seems kind of crazy as a second place person here because, yeah, he would be the only win for his film. And if you're talking about the SAG Critics' Choice era of when that's happened, it's Nicolas Cage, who won the Drama Globe, Jeffrey Rush, a sweeper that season. If we go to when BAFTA moved after the Oscars, Denzel Washington is the only person to win nothing and get in. Philip Seymour Hoffman, sweeper. Forrest Whitaker, sweeper. Eddie Redmayne, almost a sweeper. Will Smith, sweeper. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about somebody that's able to win Best Actor and be the only win for their film.
Yeah.
That ain't Timmy.
It's not Timothée Chalamet, no. Which, I mean, a couple months ago, this was much more locked up than it was. We all have Michael B. Jordan. We're all not 100% confident in that.
I'm pretty confident now, I think.
But I think the more we've talked about it, the more it seems right. It seems right. Erik, adapted. Oh wait, no, it's me. Adapted screenplay. So the nominees for best adapted screenplay are Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and Train Dreams. I'm going with One Battle After Another. What say you guys?
Begonia.
I second Begonia.
This is
in a
Eric
shock.
and I have
In an
so
upset.
Eric and I have exactly the same predictions, other than our two short films. Which
I
is
mean,
what it's gonna
really?
come down to. Fuck it.
not Begonia.
Not Begonia. Now everybody has one battle.
Yes.
Yeah, that's his first Oscar, right?
It will be
Yes.
his
I'm sure
first
we'll have
Oscar.
Well, unless
Try
they
again.
Steven Soderbergh and put it in the first hour for director of the
Oh my God.
telecast. Can you imagine? First one of the night, best director.
I don't know if you heard, but Jim Kringle passed away.
It means
That's
there's
going to be an Oscar-winning screenplay.
It means there's a. So is
So is every single line that Sean Penn says.
Yeah.
All of them.
Daddy-daughter games, Oscar winner.
Seaman Demon, Oscar
Seaman
winner.
Demon.
There you go. Erik,
Yeah,
original screenplay.
all right, we have Blue Moon. It was just an accident. Marty Supreme, Sentimental Value, and the winner, Sinners.
Yep.
Winner, sinner, sinner.
There you go.
Let's go.
Sophia, Sinners.
Also have Sinners.
Mark, Sinners.
Yes, Sinners.
I have
These
Sinners
two
as well.
categories have been locked for like fucking 8
Yeah.
months.
I will.
Yeah.
No matter what was going to happen.
I don't think they were locked in until after BAFTA.
Huh? Are you
Because-
high? Are you kidding me?
No,
What?
I thought that. Well,
They were
one,
locked
I thought
before
that.
nominations came.
I thought
They
that.
were locked in the summer.
I was
No.
curious if Sentimental Value could win the BAFTA.
Yes,
Okay.
Not gonna lie.
that's the only film that I
Okay.
thought could upset
Nah.
Sinners, and I thought that One Battle.
It was going to happen anyway.
Well, if they were locked in, Erik, if they were locked in the summer, then you should have predicted One Battle After Another in your early predictions to win, but you didn't. So, if
For
they were
adapted
locked in,
screenplay? For
to
adapted
win?
screenplay?
yeah,
Do you want to take a look?
I bet you had Hamnet. I bet you
As-
you had Hamnet.
You guys are so funny.
All right, let's do
Let's
this
do it
in-
live on the show right
yeah,
now.
let's do it in real time.
Do it in real
Hey.
time.
Wait, where are I? Was
Erik,
just
while
there.
you're looking for that,
Yep.
Sophia, best original score.
Another easy one. We have Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and our winner, Sinners. Easy one. I think we know, like, Sinners at least is getting, like, there's two locked up on the board. Really easy. Original score and original screenplay.
Absolutely, for sure. Yeah, that's definitely the case. Mark, are you in agreement that it's
Yeah.
Sinners?
Agree. Yep.
Erik, Sinners?
Yeah. So, but
Score.
I didn't start my screenplay nomination predictions until September, but it's been Sinners in One Battle.
God damn it. All right. Well,
So
next time we'll have to have you start them in
Eat it.
April.
I should
Yeah.
start. Well, I usually do the earlier, but I didn't
That's
do
a
the
cop out.
screenplays.
Yeah,
That's a cop
it's hard
out.
to do any of
Mike.
the. This picture is really the only one I like to do before.
No, I got
Especially
you.
with category placement.
I got you.
Like
All right.
sometimes it can just be
Right.
weird.
All right. Anyway, Sinners, score, done. Moving on. All four of us picked it. Mark, best editing.
Editing F1, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sentimental Value, and Sinners.
Mark, what do you got?
I have One Battle After Another. I can't find my thing to give you anything fun to say about it, but that's what I have right now. I'll come back to me when you guys are done. I'll find something fun to say. I'm old and I'm tired, okay?
So, Sophia?
I also have One Battle After Another. The combination of BAFTA and Ace is really strong here. So that's what I'm going with. And I also just feel like all of the comments on One Battle After Another have been, oh my God, that's an almost 3 hour movie that feels like it's 90 minutes. Like it's always like the pacing of it and best scene of the year, the car chase at the end. So I mean, all of the
Right.
best scenes of the year all throughout it. So yeah, at One Battle for me.
Erik?
Yeah, this is a pretty easy one battle win, I think, as well.
I'm picking One Battle After Another as well. It won the Guild, it won the BAFTA. Shout out Andy Jurgensen, who was my seatmate at the CCAs. And we got to then do an interview with him that's live up on the website. Awesome guy. So glad he's going to win this Oscar. Really great also too that like PTAs kind of let them have solo credit this go around, him and Bauman, and that they're going to
I
get
was
their
going to
flowers.
mention that for Bauman. Yeah.
And I think I think that's really helped them a lot.
a lot.
Yeah. And because I think there is massive sort of bias, and there has been bias in the past for PTA in those categories. But not in this case this year. He's going to walk away with those 2 wins. Okay. Erik,
Yeah.
best actress.
That's adorable.
It is adorable.
That's so fun. All right. The nominees are Jessie Buckley for Hamnet, Rose Byrne for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, Kate Hudson for Song Sung Blue, Renato Reinza for Sentimental Value, and Emma Stone for Bugonia.
Bugonia.
Or as Mark would say, Bugonia.
Fair enough.
Hey, you know what? Who doesn't love a sweeper? I do. I love a sweeper, especially when it's Jessie Buckley for Hamnet. I cannot wait for her to win.
We've all had this prediction since we saw it in the mountains of Telluride.
Since I was choke sobbing.
Yeah, exactly. Since we were all like, so she's gonna win the Oscar, right? Right? Yeah, it's Jessie Buckley.
And also the idea of Saoirse Ronan not being the first Irish Best Actress winner. Didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
Oh man, poor Saoirse. What was that terrible movie that she was in last year?
It wasn't that terrible, The Outrun.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Foe with Paul Mescal.
Oh, that too. No, that was a couple years ago.
That was really bad.
Both of their worst movies.
The Outrun
really
wasn't.
bad.
Outrun was.
I reviewed that. Yeah.
Stinker.
You reviewed both.
I did.
Yeah. So sorry. But Jessie Buckley, our winner here.
Oh,
Easy
thank
winner.
God.
Honestly,
God.
should do it at the first award of the night.
That should be first, yeah.
Get her out of the way. Like, I love you, Jessie, but like you and your questionable clothing options on the red carpets can go up there and accept that Oscar.
I hope
I'm
she has a
hoping-
great Oscar dress.
I'm
Wear
really
gold.
hoping. I'm hoping. Stop it.
She
She can afford to wear
She
gold.
can.
Yeah.
She can wear.
She can.
She
She
can
can do it.
She could be a
can do
bar
it.
of gold. It won't matter. It's not going to affect her. Oh my God. It's going to be great. Mark, you're happy about this one, right?
Yeah, I just watched it for like the 4th time, which I don't usually watch new movies 4 times. This last week, and she's just getting stored yet. She warmed me up so much with that performance that I even liked her in The Bride. So
Oh,
what can I say? I know I'm the only one that really liked that performance, but yeah,
They haven't
she's
seen it
just
yet.
a
I haven't seen
So
it
No.
yet. No,
yeah.
that feels like an
Okay.
HBO
So
Max
yeah.
show for
It's
me.
just me that hates
Yeah,
it.
yeah, no, I
That
didn't
is
like the
where I'll be
movie at all.
watching The Bride.
I
Yes,
didn't
Or
like
The
the Bride at all,
Bride.
but
I
I
guess
thought
if
she was
it's
fun.
a musical.
exclamation marks, just Jack.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All right, last one. Best Picture. Nominees are Begonia, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and Train Dreams. Sophia Ciminello, what
You
is
see my
winning?
note cards?
To see your note cards there.
Yeah.
What is winning Best Picture
Ugh.
this year?
This has just been so stressful, honestly. Like, I need to reevaluate my life after this season. I do not recommend for anyone to have their favorite movie of the year directed by their favorite director in the running for Best Picture. Um, it's a lot. So I have one battle after another, and it's not just because it's my favorite film. It's because we have not seen a cross critics American Guild and international performer like this in my lifetime of watching the Oscars, maybe ever. And I've just, there's the PGA is huge because, and I'm not going to base this off of what I've heard from people online who don't want it to win because they're not here. I'm going to say what I feel, which is that PGA is a preferential ballot. And if a movie is divisive, it will not win on a preferential ballot. And One Battle won at PGA, which is huge. And it's a really good predictor of the Oscars. It also has the PGA, DGA, WGA combo. When Oppenheimer did not have WGA, I did not hear the same kinds of questions around whether or not it can win Best Picture. And it was missing a guild. I didn't hear that, but I am hearing it about this one. And I think it's kind of strange, personally. Um, I've heard a lot about, also Sinners has ACE, SAG, and WGA, and no movie with that combination has ever lost Best Picture. But going through those examples of the winners, there's something to each of them that just doesn't check out. You have Everything Everywhere All at Once. Well, that also won PGA and DGA, so we have to take that off the board. Argo, also PGA, DGA. Gotta take that off the board. Slumdog Millionaire, PGA, DGA. Gotta take that off the board. Parasite. You have to look at the competition then when you get to these. 1917, no acting, no editing. Got to take that off the board. Crash. It's an interesting one. Brokeback Mountain. Blanked at SAG, lost at ACE. You can't have like one battle after another. You can't say this benefits one film without looking at the other film it's competing against and what it's done. That's why these comparisons just don't hold any weight. And then what happens from there is you look at okay, what are the outcomes of the head-to-heads, right? For Sinners, it won the head-to-head at SAG Ensemble, Best Actor at SAG, every time it's been up in score, Supporting Actress at BAFTA, and Sound at MPSE. One battle after another, Golden Globes, CCA, PGA, DGA, BAFTA, ASC, BSC, Supporting Actor, SAG, BAFTA, Screenplay at the Golden Globes. That's a lot more compelling to me than when Sinners has won those head-to-heads. And you can say momentum. Momentum works when you want to vote against the other film. Momentum works for Coda when people don't like The Power of the Dog. Momentum works for Parasite when people, 1917 is the hot thing that came out at the end of the year. It's not enough to make a prediction based on momentum just because it's a long season when you're going up against a movie that has barely made a single misstep. So for me, it's one battle after another. It also won a César. The last American movie to win the César was Birdman. So, and the last two American or co-American productions to get nominated at the Césars, Anora and Oppenheimer. So, I rest my case.
So
That's
you're
why I feel good.
so you're picking one battle after another? Yes.
Yeah, I'm picking
Okay.
one
Just
battle
just
after
just
another.
just trying to
Yeah.
clarify. I want to make
Yeah.
sure that's okay.
Mhm. Oh, and La La Land and Moonlight. That's another one I've seen. La La Land, no ace. Or lost ace, lost
No
WGA.
SAG.
There you go.
No SAG either.
And
No
no
SAG
SAG.
nomination either at all for that
Which was
film.
that was the big hit.
Yep. Mark?
Yeah, the only, and Sophia's great points you made. And the only one I would argue about is the comparison to Oppenheimer is I don't think Oppenheimer had a number 2 that year. And I think that's, when you look at these historically, that's kind of where I look is there really is no, what was number 2? I mean, you could argue Barbie, but it missed in too many big places for nominations. So like, I don't even know what it is. The Holdovers?
I mean, Mark,
I think
Poor
that's the-
Things is the runner
I mean, Mark, I
Poor
will
Things,
say
yeah, right.
there wasn't one at the end, but there was a lot of pushing of that of Oppenheimer ain't gonna happen by a lot of people at the trades, a lot of people that cover this. I know because I was the one in the
Oppenheimer or
trade.
One Battle?
I was talking about Oppenheimer because I remember that year when
thought-
it came out.
I
And
thought
when
Sophia was talking about how it
I know, but you
didn't
were
show.
talking about Oppenheimer. You were talking about Oppenheimer there.
I'm saying Oppenheimer's different from One Battle in the sense that One Battle has a very formidable number 2, and I don't think Oppenheimer did. And
I think
Oppenheimer
that's
also
fair, but I also just
Oppenheimer also
don't.
took SAG.
It did
That's
take
fair.
SAG, but it didn't take WGA, which to me, it's like if you are
Didn't take
looking
it at the
these
BAFTA either.
big guilds,
I
it's
don't-
like nobody was saying that
Yeah.
like one battle after another is done, one battle after another can't do this because it lost a single guild, which was the reaction when one battle had one loss.
When I think of sweeper, and this is me personally, I think of the ones that award picture. So WGA is important and whatnot, although I do think it's a lot less important nowadays. But when I think sweeper, I think Critics' Choice, Globes, BAFTA, SAG, DGA, PGA. Those are films that win. All of those are what I would call sweeper.
But SAG's
because they
not
are
a
awarded-
picture.
But DGA is not a picture prize.
Fair,
It's like WGA.
fair.
Yeah.
You're right. Fair. But historically, there's a lot much more carryover with DGA winners winning picture, and it's a much more important precursor than WGA. And again, not taking anything away from One Battle after another, which its run has been historic, but also Centers has a historic run of its own. Its combination has never lost, and it set the record with 16 nominations. So I think One Battle after another's race has been harder than Oppenheimer's. And again, I am going to be so happy for the two of you. Erik, you were Hamnet, right? Was
For
your
what?
other one? For your,
Yeah.
your
Oh,
favorite
yeah.
one? Yeah.
Oh,
Early
So
on, yeah,
for-
he was hammed at number 1. Yeah.
Ryan and Sophia, this year for you is
Not
like
as a
what
prediction,
20
as a personal pick.
That's a personal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This year for you guys is what 2023 was for me with Nolan. And
Whoa,
Oppenheimer.
hey, wait a minute. I
Yeah.
was also the
Yeah,
early
you got
one to
two-
predict.
Then you got to do it twice, you did.
Yeah, I have.
It's very
Yeah.
rare. It's very rare though that your favorite filmmaker and your favorite movie of the year come together and you win. You get to watch it win.
I also got
as
Francis
much as
McDormand
both
in 2020.
Oppenheimer and One Battle have done. So, that's, and it's a great movie. Like I don't think I've ever said anything about it negatively. I just don't put it on the same, in the same realm as Sinners and Hamnet. It's in that realm right next to it. So anyway, long story short, that's the only thing I would disagree with what you said, Sylvia, and the rest of it is very true. It's had an insane run. It has showed up so well with across the board with guilds. I think it only missed 1 or 2 nominations, and they were from very minor guilds. So yeah, I also am predicting One Battle.
Erik?
I mean, Sophia really laid everything out on the table. I mean, I have all of my notes as well.
It's got all of his
and
charts.
It
There's so
really
much to
is,
talk
and
about.
it's a lot of that. It is a year with two very, very heated contenders and two films that you can't really give the Coda power of the dog treatment to. It's not, you can't really do that.
Right.
So I thought maybe that this weekend, that between the three major guilds that happened, could show a different momentum for Sinners that SAG kind of started, and a little bit of BAFTA, obviously, with its 3 wins, and that being enough to be the most wins for any Black directed film at BAFTA. Crazy. That we might be able to see that. Didn't really happen. It didn't unfold that way. So again, there would have to be some like really, really big tide change that has happened very recently that turned people. I don't see it. There is nothing that truly or properly could really identify that in a way that when it happened before, Parasite, Coda, whatever, that you could really kind of see and feel it, whether it's talking to voters, or just vibes. And I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it at all. There is just the tide is one battle. So,
And don't you agree that like when the tide turns, it's because there's a clear reason not to vote for the other thing?
yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
We don't have that. So it isn't it isn't like a fight really, kind of in the same way.
I
No.
think it also can turn, though. I think it can also turn with this extended voting period.
It was longer,
people,
and it went over the weekend, which is highly unusual.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it can give, it feels, and maybe it's just me, but this award season feels extremely long this year. And I think maybe a longer season allows people to revisit a film 2, 3 times like I have been trying to. And I think the tide can change that way, because sometimes I'll give you an example. Nora. I saw Nora with you guys, I think, in Telluride, and I liked it a lot. And then months later, I'm doing my countdown, rewatching the movie so I could do my countdown, and I watched Nora again, and I was like, "Ooh, wait a minute," and I wasn't as sure on it. So then I watched it a third time a couple weeks later, and now I actively dislike Nora. So like things can change in your opinion on a film the more times you see it. So I think I don't disagree with what you're saying, Sophia, that having a reason to vote against it, like what we saw with Amelia Perez, perhaps. I don't disagree with that being a major reason, but I do think there could be other reasons that change tides.
I don't think that there's any damn reason. There hasn't been for a while. So
I don't either.
I think I
I
think
want to
it
make that clear.
I think momentum starts early on. I think momentum is something that genuinely, when you see it, you know it, and then it just, it's organic. It doesn't feel like it's been ginned up by people. And that's how I feel that Sinners has been. Is that there is a contingent of people out there that don't want this movie to win Best Picture for whatever personal bias or reasons, or maybe they think that other films are better or whatnot, and they don't want to see it be a sweeper. And I'm talking about one battle after another. And really, it showed in the biased nature in which they've covered this race. It showed within absolutely everything that what Sophia said. If the tables were reversed and Sinners had gone on this incredible run, won PGA, DGA, BAFTA, Globe, Critics' Choice, won all these, had director locked up, had, a screenplay. Well, it does have a screenplay locked up, but had editing and cinematography, and the guilds went for it more than one battle. And I was sitting here being like, well, no, one battle after another, it's got momentum because it won SAG over Sinners. If the tables were reversed on this, we would be like, this is over. It's Sinners. It's done. We wouldn't have a conversation right now because it would be done. It would be over. This would be historic. It would have momentum and it would be done. And that's not the case that that people have had this conversation. And this willingness to want to keep it a race only speaks to boredom. It doesn't speak to reality because if a momentum of something is shifting, then it's going to continue that or it's going to be split up enough where we're having more doubt than we should in a lot of these categories. We're not having as much doubt outside of a couple acting categories that could go to performances not in these two films. And then maybe some tech categories that, seem like they're going to go to these two, but who knows? But we're predicting them to most likely either go to one battle or Sinners. And the point being here is that when you look at the tally on the night and you look at what we're all predicting to win Best Picture, it has to line up and tell a story with your predictions. And right now, the story for Sinners is it's not as certain of a path. And it hasn't been all season. And this momentum, this one speech at SAG, which was, we all predicted it to happen. It's not like Parasite. Parasite was not a give me that night for SAG Ensemble. People wanted that to happen. And when it happened, it was momentous. It was joyous. It was something to break through the barrier of a non-English language film to win a major prize like that. And that was enough of a reason, along with the international voters, to shift the tide in that movie's favor. And the international voters have showed, much like what Sophia said, that they prefer one battle after another. They have shown that through multiple examples of that throughout this season. And the American guilds have done the same thing. And the only one that has done it is a guild that has TikTokers and weathermen.
You're obsessed with TikTokers and weathermen.
But they aren't in BAFTA. They aren't in.
You know who is in BAFTA?
Say it.
Scott Feinberg, Clayton Davis, Scott Menzel.
And you know what?
BAFTA.
Then you know what? Who knows who they voted for? I don't know who they voted for.
Okay.
But the point being,
all
is that
groups
were they weathermen?
Yeah.
Weird people in them that don't make sense.
I understand that. But what I'm saying is that SAG has been unpredictable because I don't see the Best Picture winner for Conclave. Or what about Hidden Figures? Or Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri? Or Black Panther? Multiple times. Or Trial of Chicago 7. Where those films won SAG Ensemble. And Black Panther especially. Black Panther had a Ryan Coogler film that won SAG Ensemble. Had a great speech from Chadwick Boseman up there. Love and big applause in the room. And it didn't matter. It didn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's over. It's been over for a while.
Is it over?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was never really over. Name that movie. Sorry.
You guys want to hear a really
Notebook?
cool fact?
Yeah, The Notebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys want? This is no joke. In Cleveland, the most popular weatherman, his name, Sophia might know this actually. Do you know his name, Sophia? The most popular weatherman in Cleveland. His name, Mark Johnson.
Oh my
Not
gosh.
kidding.
That's funny.
Not
No,
kidding.
I didn't know that. It's a good fact.
I mean, there's never been a whiter man's name than Mark Johnson. So
I don't know.
It's
Eric
the most
Anderson's pretty
basic-
close.
that seems
Not
pretty
with a K.
Ohio.
Yeah, well, yeah.
One of the other things I just wanted to bring up quickly is that if you look at like last year, for example, just because we're just coming off of last year, Like the fact that the Academy, like I was thinking about The Brutalist, like as an example, that didn't win a single American Guild all year. Not one. Nowhere. Nothing.
Yeah. Right.
And it's still at the Oscars won score, cinematography, actor. Like the international vote, you look at The Wild Robot, which got a sound nomination, had a PGA win, Flow won. Like international voters really matter. And I think that like it's not to say that Sinners like it just hasn't performed as internet it really hasn't performed as well internationally. So if we were to see a big Sinners sweep, it would just feel so different, I think, than the Academy we have come to really know over the past few years as it's been changing.
It would have to be like Everything Everywhere All at Once, and it would have to be such a rejection of the other films in the lineup for it to dominate. And there's a movie there that they're much more passionate about that they are going to vote for. It just is. Because the option, I guess, for that film was All Quiet on
And
the Western
Everything Everywhere
Front.
is closer to One Battle than Sinners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, no, it'll be very interesting. So we have all picked one battle after another. But to that point, if there is a runner-up, it is Sinners. There's not another film even close to it.
I mean,
But, you know, it's not Hamnet. It's not Sentimental Value. It's not Marty Supreme or Frankenstein. But it'll be very interesting to see how the night unfolds. And yeah, that's
So does 6? I know Erik and I have one battle getting 6. Does Sophia and Erik and Ryan, what was your total?
as of right now. I have the BAFTA 6,
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
what I have too.
which is crazy.
Okay.
which
That
is
type
also
of correlation is crazy.
it's crazy as well. But then it's so is
and
that's enough.
we have Sinners with 3, all of us in the same 3, right?
Yeah.
Actor, screenplay, score,
Casting.
casting. 4.
Casting.
That's right.
well, Sophia, you had Wumi
And Wound
Musaka.
Me 5.
Oh,
I have
okay,
it,
so
I have
all
it
right, so
6
we're-
and 5.
That's
Sophia
amazing.
has Sinners is the biggest winner among us.
No,
There you go.
I do.
Among us. Yeah.
Among us, yeah.
It makes a lot of sense with 16 nominations, but I don't know.
I
can't wait
movie,
to see.
like which by the way, I'm switching back to Amy Madigan for supporting actress.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Oh my
The
God.
show's not over
Wrap
yet.
it
Honestly,
up. Wow.
I might switch documentary. I think documentary is the one I think I'm the most likely to switch
That's fair.
at the end.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
very
going to Putin or however you say it.
Putin. Right.
Yes.
I might go to Putin because what you said too, Sophia, is very true about the International Academy, and then Erik named movies like Flow and areas where we didn't maybe.
Boy the Heron.
I didn't predict those.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't predict either one of those. So that to me that category this year would be documentary.
Or you
So,
think
I
about
don't
with
know.
like sound a couple of years ago with like the Zone of Interest and how that
Mhm.
would have to come from also the international voting block as well.
That was
Yeah.
like one of the coolest wins.
It's
But
one of the best wins ever.
yeah.
It has
It's
to
kind
come.
of about knowing when the international vote has the impact that it does,
Yeah.
and when everyone's kind of together.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think they are on a lot of the top categories, but they will solidify. I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see some of these open races that we're still going to talk about, because then we'll really know. It's like, was it the international vote? Was it this? Was it just pure chaos?
Well, that's why when there's crossover, it
hindsight.
matters.
It
Like if
does.
someone has BAFTA and PGA, or BAFTA and like I don't know, yeah, BAFTA
But
and ASC.
But
like
a six,
that
but
feels important.
a 6-4 or 6-5 night for One Battle and Sinners would still be the most awarded films on the night. And I mean,
I just want to see PTA holding his
but,
Oscars.
I mean, that's the thing. Is like, if you think about
That's
the
happening.
picture of what we've predicted tonight, it has PTA winning 3 Oscars. It has Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan holding Oscars together. You either have Wumi Musako or Amy Madigan holding, an Oscar after the 40 years in between her nomination. Sean Penn gets a third. Jesse Buckley's a sweeper. Um, you know, there's some great. This is going to be some great moments that hopefully happen. If they don't, then we're going to find out what actually happens on Sunday. And when the show is over, folks, we're going to record a reaction and then we will have it up to you as soon as possible. But until that time, I know you're going to take all this information and other shows and try to figure out your own predictions. Mark, can you tell everybody where they can find you and all your work on the internet?
You can find me at Mark Likes Movies on Twitter and I think Instagram, and that's really all you need. And then, of course, at Awards Watch and the Contending.
Sophia?
You can find me on Twitter at Sophia_Sim, Letterboxd, Blue Sky at Sophia Sim. If you want to hear more about these categories at the Oscars, on my podcast, Oscar Wild, we did a deep dive into all 24 categories. So listen to that wherever you find podcasts. And for reviews of, oh my gosh, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, and Sentimental Value,
right?
The aforementioned Sentimental Value review, and more interviews with nominees and more, you can go to AwardsWatch.
Erik?
Yes, you can find me on Twitter at AwardsWatch Erik, AwardsWatch everywhere else. Look at all of my predictions, and if they align with what I've just said for the last 4 hours, maybe they will. I think they will this time. I'm not making any changes, I don't think, this time, because as of this recording, I only had actor, director, and picture to publish, and I am not changing.
It's always a bad thing when you change at the last second. It's never good things happen from that for your predictions.
Yep.
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, Blue Sky, or Ryan McQuade 77. You can find all my work here at awardswatch.com. If you like podcasts, we have the Director Watch podcast that's going on right now. And we're in a Powell Pressburger movie series, so please go and check out those episodes. And 5 stars on iTunes, Spotify, we greatly appreciate it. While you're over the website, please sign up for the newsletter. It's the best place to get all of our news, reviews, interviews, and podcasts sent to you all at one place. Again, we will be back next week after the Oscars to wrap it up. And then we will be taking a week off after that because we're all going to need a break after this season is done.
Long nap.
Long nap coming indeed. Thank you all so much for listening, and we'll see you all next time.